Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards.
Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan. Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
All right. We are back. Welcome into the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep. I'm your host, Braylon Edwards, and to my left is not only my co-host, not only my teammate, he's also my pickleball teammate.
Boy.
Welcome in, my guy,
You poor
Matt
guy.
Shepard.
You poor
What's up,
son
brother?
of a gun, you, man.
No such thing, man.
I will say
we
that
got some wins.
I had a blast. I really did. I'm not gonna lie. I went to the jacuzzi the next day.
Fair.
Okay,
Fair.
needed it. Folks,
Yeah,
if you could understand this, we got to Wicked Pickle, and it was awesome, right? KG was there, had a blast.
Yep.
Brought his wife. What a lovely lady.
Thank you.
Kool-Aid was. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Kool-Aid said he was going to be there, but he wasn't.
Get him.
So Braylon and I are there, and I said to Braylon, I said, not that you need to worry about it, but it's really important that I stretch. So they have this big table for us to go and get stretched.
Yep. Great job by those
You
people.
still
by
Those
the way.
people were
bored,
great.
too, by the way.
If you could have seen this woman try to stretch out the hamstring, she's like, oh boy, she's really stiff. I get off the table. Braylon jumps on. His leg is all the way back. He looks like Gumby, for Christ's sakes. And I said, you see the difference right there? The woman was laughing, but in general, an absolute blast. And thanks for caring. Your back is hurting, I would assume, a little bit today.
No. My back is fine. Had nothing to do with you. My back was a little bit sore. So was everything else. You always say, hey, I'm gonna just go. We'll relax. We'll chill. We'll get into a little bit, but that competitive nature comes out.
I
man.
knew it would.
They start coming on the
knew it
warm-ups.
would. I know
like
it
diving and showing, hitting them, jumping and spiking. Had to learn the rules. I will say this though, pickleball rules, and we have some footage. We could play a little bit of it as we're talking about it. The rules were a lot to figure out.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the fortune of having referees the whole time. I think first game we had some guys that were pickleball pros, and they kind of guided the rules. I don't know if they cheated us or not. But every game after that, there was no referee. Oh, look at that!
I swear.
You see the skill though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There was no referee until the last match. There was a referee, and Shep and I looked at each other like, "Wait, we have not been playing like this the whole time." So,
Right.
Other than the rules, the game's fun, man. Shout out to Wicked Pickle out there in West.
Shep.
Side,
Oh,
man.
look at
Great
Shep.
Freak. Look at Shep. See, Shep
was out there moving, bro.
That's why I tried to tell
Barely.
him. Shep's like, "Well, you carried me." Nah, you was doing your thing.
No, I so much enjoyed it. Braylon and I communicated very well.
Yeah.
That's yours, that's mine. He was all over the place. I did leave him out to dry a couple of times, but one of my
Same.
here's my favorite story, okay? The last game, all right? This is for the Woodward Sports Network Championship, all right? And Braylon has gotten down to just a tank top, sweating, working.
I saw that too, by the way.
That
Show
ought to-
off.
See, that ought to tell you, though. That
Right.
wasn't just showing off. That's
Let's see
him.
if I can find
He
that
was
picture.
working
I
so
seen
hard.
that.
He was sweating through his T-shirt. So that's what I mean about carrying us. Anyway, there's a point awarded to our opponent. I won't say who it was. A point awarded, and he and I kind of looked at each other. I didn't say anything. Braylon goes right to the referee and he says, "Let me just say something. If you guys are going to host a tournament, let me just." And I was like, "Yes."
Right.
He's saying exactly what I wanted to say. Only his points are much more poignant than mine. So again, fantastic job. I want a rematch. As soon as we can get it, I'm in.
Yeah.
Because I think things will be different.
I sent the tank top pic to the with me and Shep to the group chat, so when you guys get it, you can throw it up there. But yeah, I want some consistency. It wasn't an excuse. Like we'll start here.
so funny, Kool-Aid.
We lost. We got our butts kicked in.
He was
the
on his
championship
JB
round,
Vicker
so
staff?
we'll own that. So it was like, shout out to the crew. But I just didn't like where we're not gonna ref your games. We're gonna let you guys figure it out. Like KG, did we have a ref in our game?
Hell no.
The Easy game we played against Easy. Well, we played against a clone of Easy.
You're right.
Beat them, but there was no referee. There was no referee in any other game, and all of a sudden there's a ref. And the only reason I said it because the rules there's some interesting rules to serve the back and forth in the beginning. And
I
how
still
you
don't
go.
understand it.
I still really don't.
Well, you did a good job of you
was
were kind of guiding me, so
fake it
you
till
did.
you make it.
It shows you the Michigan education. Easy
Those who-
Easy was
I
pretty
guess can't
interesting because when we first started talking about this,
Yeah.
he told me for sure he's going to go out there and beat us for sure. Okay, and the only thing he was missing was a tall chair to sit as a referee with a microphone.
Oh,
I thought that's what. So we're playing, and
Yeah.
I think it was his nephew who had some good mobility out there.
Yep.
And I start to serve, and I call this the serve score, and Easy says, no, it's 8-5-1. I said, no, it's 8-4.
He snuck a point in there.
Tried to
He
sneak
did.
a point in there.
I will say this though. One thing about pickleball,
But he was smiling.
It's one of those sports where anybody can play. It can be co-ed. It can be young. It can be old. Because the best player there was not somebody that was 6'4", in shape, 225, and running side to side.
Yeah.
You know, it was a woman. It was a woman. It was a former tennis player. We didn't get to school. She wasn't even a she wasn't Maria Sharapova.
Yeah.
She was on the shorter side, shorter arms, shorter legs. But Shep, when she hit it, like as we were walking to the back room, the pizza room where they had everybody set up, you can hear her hitting that wiffle ball as you got closer to her.
Yeah.
And then when you watch her, that thing was moving with some speed. I'm glad we didn't play them.
Me
That
too.
would've been ugly.
Me too. But I enjoy learning from people who are really good at what they do. You know, so for me, it was kind of fun. It was very fun, and I'm glad that Brendan and our sales staff put it together. And I want to thank everybody at Wicked Pickle because you guys got a really nice place there.
It's a great facility.
with really nice people, and I really enjoyed it.
Westland is doing their thing. Like I haven't been out in that area in a very long time. I know there's a bowling alley and a movie theater. I think it's Imagine Theater over there. They had built up around it, man.
The group text.
The group. Sundown Town.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh my God!
full,
was that
full
fun?
disclosure.
I'm driving.
Downtown.
I'm driving.
We were having some fun.
I know. I'm driving and I press on the radio my text
Yeah.
and it comes out what Braylon said and I almost drove off the road.
So check this out. Look, man, you know, inquiring minds want to know. It's a little later. The sun had gone down. It's darker, and I'm asking.
Just wondering.
I'm saying, you know, what kind of town is Westland? You know, I'm asking for a friend. Are they, are they nice to the brothers out there? Or do
Braylon,
I
you-
have to make sure I'm doing all the things right. So D-Mac responds, and he's like, "Hey, old Bray, don't worry, I got you. You know, you're
Yes,
fine.
it's
I
my
got
town,
it under
yeah,
locks."
right.
But then a couple people made some jokes about some other towns, and I was like, "Yeah, no, those are sundown towns."
Yeah, dog.
We
big
won't
facts.
name them on air, but
Nah,
definitely,
I
it's
see
still
some-
Black
definitely a
people
thing.
frequent Westland.
Okay,
very
respect.
much so.
Yeah.
The apartments are very cheap out there. So.
I saw that when I was.
Shout out to my homies from
I know.
John
I
Glenn.
used to stay out there. I know.
I saw that when I was leaving though, KG, because the facility, the spot right next door to Wicked Pickle, I think it's a birthday spot. They were
Yep.
doing birthday parties. Like everybody that was leaving out of that was my complex. I said, "Oh, we're good."
Oh, yeah.
The other
Oh,
thing,
so
the other
is
thing
that why
was,
Bray showed up looking like this?
well,
at
he
his
You
showed
didn't
up-
know.
Look
showed
at
up
this
with a
guy
tie
right here. Keep your shirt on.
He with the chain on.
There's wives walking around. Keep your shirt on, man.
Bray, is that 2 chains? Oh, my God.
Hey man, you know, shout out to Titty Boy.
Hey, it's the only time that aforementioned tennis player missed a point is when Braylon took his shirt off and started walking back toward the other one.
Look at this guy.
Shout out.
But I had a really, really good time, and it was 2 workouts for the day. It messed up my Saturday, Sunday workout format because I was a little bit too sore, so I took the weekend off. Most notably, but I had a really, really good time.
I would also like to thank Rando Smalls for being out there because
I finally got a chance to meet Ryan.
I got a chance to meet him. What a wonderful
He's a
man.
Cool as hell.
person.
Super cool.
Just laid back, didn't get caught up. And, can I get a picture with Braylon? He was just nice and easy to talk to. He was there in his Red Wings uniform or Red Wings jersey. I thought it was wonderful to meet him. So
He sent
thank
in a
you.
$2 super chat and he says, "Thank you guys for a great time."
Oh, thank you, Rando. Thank you.
Sure, I'm glad you brought that up, Shep, because at the end of the day, when you see us in person, like Mac and me, we sign all the pictures. Excuse me, we sign all the autographs.
You
we
do.
take all the pictures. Like, we love it. Like,
Lot
this
of
is what
credit.
it's about. And we appreciate
seen
you
it.
guys appreciating us. The only reason why Shep and I bring it up that way is because when you're just relaxed and when you're chill and you're just kind of there, like, you'll get much more conversation. You'll get much more tread. Like, I talked to Rando probably 6, 7, 8 times throughout the course of the 2.5 hours we were there. Spent some time with him, sat down in a moment because he was chill. He would talk,
He was
conversate.
great.
He
Yeah.
said that was a good point, and he would go on about his business. So that goes a long way, and it makes you. Next thing I know, I was sitting down next to him, waiting for my next turn. So shout out to Rando, man, for being a stand-up guy and one of our greatest chat guys.
Yeah, and thanks for being there, Rando.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that was,
shout out. Appreciate it.
Didn't have to do that. Came out, Wicked Pickle. Maybe he'll pick up the game someday. Maybe I will too. I had a friend of mine text me the next day, hey, how did it go? I said, just super enjoyment.
Yeah.
So thanks to all those you folks at Wicked Pickle. You're doing a great job, man. They got 10 courts out there, folks. If you want to get some exercise, you want to enjoy yourself, they get really busy.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. I think they get like 250 on a weekend. Mm-hmm. So they get really busy, but it's worth it, right? They've got a place back there, right? Ton of leagues. They got a place back there where you can have some lunch. They got a place where you can watch the games, like you and I watched a little bit of the game. You can rent paddles there. They've got it all covered.
Yeah, we didn't watch much of that game. I will say this: first time I looked at the game, Shep, I was like 35-7.
Yep, Dante Moore, baby.
Well, no reason to watch the rest.
Dante Moore special.
Was it Dante Moore? Was just a dominant performance?
It was. That defense was all over.
You can't. But when
that
you're
pick six he had was bad though.
When you're playing a team that doesn't make mistakes and is not sound is an understatement. When they're as good as they are, talking about Indiana defensive line, defense as a whole, offensive line, offense as a whole, and they don't make mistakes, you cannot start the game with a pick six. You just can't.
You know what's amazing? On October 15th of 2022, there's a little history made. You know what it was? It was Indiana becoming the first Division I football program to reach 700 losses. Ooh. You don't know what that's like because you played for a program that has more wins than anybody else in
I also
history.
played for the Cleveland Browns, though.
Good point.
Let me hear the bill.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, thank you.
He go get his come up.
And yet, what day will it be? Will it be January? Is it the 19th?
19th.
Okay, and yet on the 19th,
my brother's birthday.
Indiana, shout out, Indiana is trying to become the first FBS program since the 1894 Yale squad.
Wow.
To go 16-0.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
What's nuts is they play 16 games. That's what's nuts. But
I agree.
But 1,000% to win 16 games, especially you look at what this team is. Like, I played in that conference.
Yeah.
Like, Indiana has been known as nothing but a stepping stone. It's the homecoming game. It's how you get back on track. Like, that's what Indiana has been. Like, when it's a stat game. Like, whenever we're playing Indiana, it's like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at, I probably need 2 touchdowns this game, about $150. That'll put me right where – like, that's what that game is. That's what that mindset is. So to see what Kurt Cignetti has done, and I don't care about the transfer portal and the average age of the team is 30 or whatever it is. All right, I had to take a little shot.
Right.
But, no, I don't care about that, man.
Yeah.
What I care about is what he's been able to do, and he's gotten better from last year. Last year they get into the dance. They lose in the first round. This year they get Mendoza, and they're taking it all the way to the championship. And it just looks different. It is physically imposing. What I appreciate about it, Shep, is when you're a team like Indiana, like, nobody wants to believe it's real. Mm-hmm. Like, everybody's waiting for – you were waiting for Oregon to go up and win 35-20, so you can say, see, this is what it is. Or you're waiting for them to fall off against Ohio State. Like, you've been waiting for them to fall off all season, including last year. And not only have they not fallen off, Shep, they've gotten stronger. Like, they've gotten stronger in the playoff. They're playing against the best teams. At least this is what I was told the best 12 teams were. And they're not only just playing to a certain level, they've taken it to another level. That defense is real. And the offensive line. People don't talk about how much time Mendoza has to find those spots. It doesn't take much. He only had 177 yards. But when you put him in the situations, he's going to find the throws that matter. Those 177 yards, they turned in 5 touchdowns.
Well, here's what he's done, though, in the red zone over the last 2 years. Just in the red zone.
Yeah.
37 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, 8 rushing touchdowns.
Wow. No turnovers?
Over the last 2 seasons, when he gets in the red zone, it is virtually automatic. 37 touchdowns,
crazy.
8 rushing touchdowns, no picks. Give it to me, Kool-Aid. That's power stats.
That's a power stat.
That is some impressive stuff.
That's crazy.
He goes like you could talk about. I don't know if they're going to win because Miami's defense is raw.
They're very
it's
good.
really good, right? But when you say,
All right, Bray.
Just saying.
Yeah, I mean they're
I
really
seen
impressive.
Indiana. It looked different. Like,
Yeah.
like Miami struggled with Trinidad Chambliss.
That is true.
Let me not say struggle. They dropped 4 interceptions. The game could have looked a lot different. Like we talked about that.
You said they owned that game.
They did. So let me backtrack before I say some BS up here. They own that game. With that being said, there still was a chance for Ole Miss to win in the end because of situational football that Miami did in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. You're not getting that out of Indiana. You're not getting that
Doesn't seem
out
like
of
it.
Kurt Cignetti in terms of the mishaps. The thing I love about Fernando Mendoza, and you bring him up, I told you I didn't know if I was going to take him first overall pick.
Yeah.
I said I didn't know if I was comfortable with that last week. I said he's an RPO guy. When you watch him and you listen to him, like the level of maturity, get it, he's older, but the level of maturity, the level of the moment and finding his players and conversation, like that, the cerebralness, the mental side, how he approaches, what he plays in the moments, the bigger the moment, the more relaxed he is.
Seems like it.
Like he seems the bigger the moment, the more relaxed he is when he's at the podium, pregame, postgame. He's very even killed. That's dangerous. I found a lot more found respect for him.
Yeah.
I had respect for him, but I'm finding a liking for him. I'm finding a liking to him, and this is a different day and age. You know what we perceive to be number 1 overall pick, what we perceive that to look like, whether you need to look like Andrew Luck or look like Cam Newton or maybe look like, these various number 1 overall, Joe Burrow. The look is different now.
Yeah.
The look can be different now. What Fernando Mendoza does, maybe that's the look. He's not Marcus Mariota when it comes to the scrambling ability, but he can move when he needs to. He can move just enough, and it looks good when he does it.
Here's what I enjoy. This is part of what professional athletes can help teach you a little bit. How do you measure a strong arm? Everybody thinks, well, he's going downfield, it's a fly route. Talk to Braylon about it, and he'll tell you, well, if you're throwing from the left hash to the right sideline outside that numbers, and it's a 15-yard out or more, that is the strength of a strong arm. I didn't know if Mendoza had it.
Yeah.
It's not like I've watched every Indiana game. I've watched them plenty, okay? He made a throw in that game that, I mean, the window for him of completing that pass was like this big, and it was left hash to outside the numbers right along the sideline on a dime. It was impressive.
It was on a rope. If you need to know what arm strength looks like, look no further than that pass Caleb Williams threw.
Oh, where he's rolling to his left?
Rolling to the left, throws the ball as he's getting hit, falls that way, put it in between 4 players.
Incredible.
Right on the dot. You can say what you want to about Caleb. You better mention how dope he is in the fourth quarter.
Amen to
That's
that.
a fact. You was right about that, by the way. You asked, would you have Jordan Love or would you rather have Caleb? And I took Jordan Love. Silly me.
Yeah, I don't trust Jordan
Silly
Love.
me.
Jordan
I
had
don't
4
trust Love.
touchdowns. You know, his second half, man. Second half. Like the same thing happened to Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur is the same thing that's been happening to most teams that have played the Chicago Bears. They struggle in the third and fourth quarter when you're playing that defense. Turnovers, and then something happens with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter. I can't put my finger on it, but it's magical.
Yeah, I caution it. I think sometimes we get into, and I don't disagree with what Braylon's talking about with Caleb Williams, but I just want you to know you are criticizing a guy who just threw for 323 yards.
That's what,
4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and had a QBR of 103.8.
That's cool, but when it matters.
Oh, you're telling me none of it mattered?
No, I'm talking about when the game matters.
He's 34 of 46. None of it mattered.
I mean, in crunch time. Once again, you ain't read the crunch time.
So it's all on Jordan Love?
No.
I mean, I'm not
but a good percentage of it.
I'm not a huge fan of Jordan Love, all right? I'd probably take Brock Purdy over Jordan Love. I'm just saying this is where the position gets too much credit when it wins, too much blame when it's lost. I'm not blaming the Green Bay Packers 31-27 loss on Jordan Love.
I will say this, KG. As you're having that conversation, remember at halftime, it's 21-3.
It was.
Start of the fourth quarter, it's 21-6. At some point, your defense, I don't care that Michael's not playing. I don't care that Kenny Clark's no longer here. At some point, your defense has to make a decision. Are we trying to get to the next round of the playoffs so that we can keep our dream of winning the Super Bowl together, or are we just going to mail it in? Because that defense,
no, I feel you.
They mailed it in.
But the one thing you said, 21 in the second, 21 in the third.
Think about this for a minute. Entering that game, teams that were up 15 points or more entering the fourth quarter in playoff history were 158-2.
It's a heck of a power stat.
Or no, 158-3. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
My fault. 158-3. And we're going to blame Jordan Love on that.
No, but once again,
I don't know, bud.
Were the Lions one of those losses? I got a feeling the Lions somehow are
my
one
apologies.
of those losses.
I didn't look at that. I
might have
You
been.
knew the Lions were.
But for me, this has been Jordan Love's MO, though. The team has not been able to get it done when it matters most for a while. While he and the Packers have been expected. This wasn't supposed to be about the Bears and the Lions this year or any of the last 2 years. I was told, we heard that was supposed to be Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur, their generational offense rising up and taking control of the NFC North. And then, boom, the Lions came and took that. I was told Jordan Love was a quarterback better than Jared Goff, but in the times when it mattered, you saw Jared Goff able to outduel him. When it came down to what team was going to come out, it was the Lions NFC North title for back-to-back years and now the Bears, and you got Jordan Love in those 3 seasons not getting it done.
I'd be careful about bringing up the Lions at this particular point because you're absolutely correct. But last time I checked, Green Bay won twice this year, and the Lions, well, they're all at home now.
right?
But it says it
They all
relates
at the
to
crib
Jordan
now.
Love, though, because you know what I mean. That's this guy going into next season. I still have more faith in what Jared Goff and the Lions can do than any team that Jordan Love is going to lead next year. Okay, it's just how the
Look,
narrative
I think
is
that's
played out.
I believe that's a fair critique, Kool-Aid. Sometimes I always ask, who's telling you this? When you say this is what I was told, by whom? and where is that type of credibility behind it? Just because somebody loud on a 4-letter network tells you Jordan Love's going to be the MVP doesn't mean that you should buy into that. That's on you, not on him.
Right. No, I
don't know about
buy
you going
it.
into the season. I didn't think it was going to be Jordan Love and the Packers. I thought it was going to be Jared Goff and the Lions.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't expect the Bears.
Nobody
Okay?
did.
Yeah,
but
not at all.
he thought the Packers would win the division. His dad thought the Packers would win the division. I thought the Packers would come in second. What difference does that make what we were told? I want to see it as it responds. Now, to your point, he's 1-3 now in his playoff career.
Speaking of what we were told that Matt LaFleur is the guy. We've also been told that the Green Bay Packers fans don't want Matt LaFleur. I just caution.
That's crazy. Still,
You start with this. The Green Bay Packers lost the last 5 games of the season. Like, let that sink in.
Yeah.
Like that's not all on quarterbacks.
It's not.
That's not all on defenses missing Micah Parsons. Like, at some point, a coach does have to come to the forefront. You can't lose 5 games in a row, make the playoffs, and then 21-3 at the halftime is what you up. 21-6 to start the fourth quarter, and then you lose that game.
Yeah,
Some real
no way.
questions, Shep, have to be asked. My question to you is, you're not getting rid of Matt LaFleur, are you?
I would not, but the belief by some is that since somebody from the front office just took over in Miami, left Green Bay, wants to take LaFleur with him, and knowing that the former president of the Packers is really tight with John Harbaugh's agent, that might be the switch. That's speculation.
Yeah.
That is rumor. I don't necessarily believe it, but I do think that's something that, a lot of people have kind of clung to right now.
and it's like, well, when you lay it out like that, that's kind of crazy, man. Those last 5, and then you get housed twice by the team that actually won the division.
So can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
When I said Jordan Love's playoff record, and you said that's the problem, and then Braylon said, well, there's belief that some people in Green Bay that they want to get rid of Matt LaFleur. Do you know what his playoff record is?
Talk to me.
It's 3-6. So why is Matt LaFleur
And that's what
Oh,
immune from
Step out with all of them.
Well, I'm not
For all I
suggesting
care.
that because I think it's hard to find good coaches. I think it's even harder to find really good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, are we using, if we're going to criticize Jordan Love, and rightfully so,
Yeah.
why wouldn't we do the same with Matt LaFleur, especially when he had a 21-3 lead? What was the big problem with Atlanta in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady when they were up 28-3? What was it? Everybody knows, right? How do you give that away? You can't survive this,
because
blah,
you
blah, blah,
don't
blah, blah.
keep running the ball.
Guess who was on that sideline?
Matt LaFleur
Yep.
as well as Kyle Shanahan.
There you go. And it's
And
talks
both
that
of them have a habit or have a reputation for
Get
you're absolutely
figured
right.
out.
Matt LaFleur, like he was on 13-3 3 times while Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback. got to home field advantage, and guess what? Nothing.
After that.
Absolutely not. No,
Yeah.
with that.
No, I know, but yeah.
When you and by the way, 2 of those seasons, Aaron Rodgers was the MVP. So it's not like a situation. Well, it's not the same Aaron. He got no. He got. In fact, I think he got the best Aaron as it relates to stats. 4,800 yards, 4 interceptions that 1 year.
But Brady never gave him a first-round wide receiver.
Until now, man, yeah, it's real.
Nah, but I was going to say, because it was reported.
The infamous conversation.
Yeah, right. It was reported by Shefty that, they do plan on working out a deal with him even despite the wild card loss.
Morning.
But when is enough? Because, yes, he's a 13-win coach, and I kind of agree with you. Yeah. Who else you really going to get that's better on the market right now? But when you just look at the playoff record, he only got a Super Bowl with a Hall of Fame quarterback. When is enough? Like 13 wins and playoff appearances is good, but you're choking it off in the biggest moments.
Yeah, true.
What do you mean you got a Super Bowl?
No, actually, sorry, he got that. LaFleur was after that Super Bowl.
Yeah, he
but when is enough? He has no Super Bowl win now. So
that's correct. Yep.
When is enough?
That's true. There's a lot of coaches with no Super Bowls.
True.
There's a lot of coaches with no Super Bowls. We got in the last couple of years, you really only have Sean McVay, Andy Reid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Nick Sirianni. Like those 3 are battling out the last 8 years.
Yeah.
It's tough to get a Super Bowl, so I would be cautious about that. But something does have to happen. Like when they go renegotiate this contract, when they go to the table, you got to sit down and ask him some real questions, some tough questions. Because one big question I would ask, what do you need? Mm-hmm. Like, I would just start.
I would have hoped they would have asked that by now, but yeah, right.
What do you need? And the reason why we ask you this, Matt, is because we appreciate what you've done. We appreciate bringing Green Bay back from whatever we weren't here for. But now, the next step.
Yeah.
We haven't been to a Super Bowl. We haven't been able to close the deal. Every year at the end of the season, you're asking the same questions of Matt LaFleur, of Jordan Love, of this franchise. Like, we can't afford to be asking the same freaking questions 3-4 seasons in a row. Well, I'm going to say 4. Because they got rid of Aaron Rodgers, but 3 seasons in a row.
How long's the shelf life? So KG's brought up, you brought up 13-3, 3 straight years, I believe. LaFleur was 13 and 3.
19, 20 or whatever it was. Yeah.
And, we talk about hasn't won a Super Bowl, hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl. Mike Tomlin's won a Super Bowl, but it was back in 2008. And the belief is if they lose to Houston tonight, that he would be fired. John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl in 2012, but he got fired. How long's that shelf life? And I know it differs, but how long are you willing to give either a player or a coach that type of credence?
Seems like they're renegotiating his deal, but for Matt LaFleur, I'll give him another year because I think it's always about next year, right?
Yeah.
But I think next year you're looking at a complete team for the Green Bay Packers. We're waiting for them to be complete. They were needing a rush in. They got into Micah Parsons. We know he's injured, but he'll be back in November maybe of next season. They'll add some defensive tackles and some DBs in the offseason. But next year you'll have your offense. Like, you have your running back. You have your 5 wide receivers. You have a blossoming first round last year in Matthew Golden. Like, he showed himself last night.
Yeah.
Like, watching him yesterday, you could tell, on Saturday. Watching him Saturday, you can tell that he was injured this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell he was plagued by injuries, and he finally got healthy. And that's what a first round wide receiver looks like. So you'll get Tucker Kraft back. Tucker Kraft will be back on your team. You saw, the fantasy conversations with me. But you know what he was doing in fantasy. He was the number 1 tight end in the league. He and McBride when he got hurt. So you'll have that back. Next year is I don't want to hear it. Like, next year is I don't want to hear it. As it relates to Harbaugh and Tomlin, Tomlin's just progressively gotten worse each season. Like, they still made the playoffs 100%, but does it look like a brand of football you trust?
It's the worst type of mid.
If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and you watch the games, how do you watch the games? You're doing this the whole game.
Yep.
Until somehow at the end you have a W. You're like, whew,
you're right.
Another W.
Yeah.
If you're John Harbaugh in Baltimore, you're watching these games like, we got Lamar, and it's still looking terrible. Like, it went down and down and down. The level of play had disappeared. I think that's the difference with those two versus LaFleur's.
And with LaFleur, just, the NFC North, I believe that they have gotten it right with their coaches. With the Packers, you got to ask yourself, you move away from him, like KG said, like Shep always says,
coach.
Who are you bringing in?
Ben Johnson can coach.
It's tough in this
Dan
NFC
Campbell,
North
we
coach
believe,
wise.
can coach.
Yeah.
Got to tip the cap.
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell can
Kevin.
coach.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
don't sleep on him.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. I mean, the division is full of guys who it seems like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think the division is as competitive as any division in football, even though the NFC West would give you some reason to believe it would be that. Speaking of some of the playoff teams, really excited to get Braylon's thoughts on the NFL playoffs. Some crazy numbers associated with a lot of these playoff games. Like the Niners are killing a narrative. We'll explain what that narrative was and how they're dismissing it after we hear from Ben Johnson and Arton Jakes.
I can't wait to talk about Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Shanahan, because I don't think enough credit has been given to what those two have done this season. Just like enough credit is not given to Ben Johnson, who is the fighter, and he will fight for you. He's been fighting for a very long time, and he and his team, they get results. They live in a results-based industry, and he gets all the results you need. Whether it's a settlement or a verdict, it does not matter. Ben will get it done. When something goes wrong, make him your first call. Get the fighter in your corner and reach out to him at benfights.com.
Hey, listen, you don't have to fight for a table or fight for a TV when you're at Arton Jakes Sports Bar and Grill. You know why? Because there's 80, count them, 80 television sets throughout the entire restaurant that has some of the best food that you can have. This is not your usual sports bar food. No, this is really good, patiently made by real chefs type of food. Wings, wraps, signature fairway burgers. Folks, I'm telling you right now, I've had it, okay? I've had really good food in all kinds of really good restaurants. This food at Arton Jakes is fantastic by guys and ladies who really care. Plus, they've got weekly specials. That rib night on Mondays, which is tonight, go check it out, man. You can check out the Wings game and the football game between the Steelers and the Texans right there at Arton Jakes. Not miss a beat, not miss a play, and not miss a bite with their really good food. Check it out. Arton Jakes, 6 locations throughout the Metro Detroit area.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. Benfights.com.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, the ache. No side effects, no mistake. Chill Sub-Zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill Sub-Zero.
All strong on this planet. And that planet is Planet Fitness with over Planet Fitness. Excuse me. I was thinking about to say 50.
Yeah, we already ready for the
metropolitan
segment.
Detroit locations. I skipped ahead a little bit. Over 2,700 clubs nationally. This is the gym for you, man. Squeaky clean gyms, check. Trainers on staff, check. And then there's no judgment. You can come here and work out to the beat of your own drum. Get it in at Planet Fitness. Fitness is very important. It's very essential. And nobody understands it better than Planet Fitness.
Things go smoother with really good drinks like Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, real vodka, real iced tea. No bubbles, just a clean, crisp sip that will only cost you 100 calories. It's perfect for watching games like tonight. When you watch the face-off between the Wings and the Carolina Hurricanes, and you watch the kickoff between the
big
Steelers
game.
and the Texans, nothing better to have in your hand than a Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, but please drink responsibly.
And we
Hey, look,
back.
over weekend, I know this may be TMI, so Mom, I apologize. It was a brief scare with my grandma and my family. Everything is all right now.
That's good.
100% it was a situation. It's no surgery required. God is good. Praying for you. I just ask the people in the chat, man, pray for my family, pray for my grandmother. And if you have anybody that's going through something, drop it in the chat. Say, hey, my aunt or my grandmother or my uncle. Drop it in the chat, man, and we'll pray for you as well, man.
Power of prayer is very strong.
It's very strong, very real. So I appreciate that, and
If you believe
can't
it.
wait to see some of these. And 100% I believe it.
If you believe, and I hope you do, because we do for sure. How can I let me just ask you this question? You were gone and very kind. You got everybody waters while we were during break. But I asked Kool-Aid and KG this: do you miss Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow in the playoffs?
Yes. Like I am a fan of greatness. I played in the league, and there's nothing more than seeing the best players in position to, win a championship or push for the best game possible. Like, I'm not one of those, and I get it. You get tired of LeBron and basketball and this, that, and the third. Hey, Patrick Mahomes is still under 10 years in this league. You miss the greatness, and when he gets to the playoffs, there's a different level that you see out of a Patrick Mahomes. When Lamar Jackson gets in the playoffs, there's a different level, at least the first two rounds.
Right, I was about to say.
Different levels that you see in the playoffs. It's
Watch
my
yourself.
guy, so if I can crack jokes, you all can. But Patrick Mahomes is special. He's a special player. Like, I don't care what you say. Well, it's a chance for the next man up. Nah, man, I love having the best players in there. And also, too, it's to be the man, in the words of Ric Flair. You got to beat the man.
Yeah.
And so it's something about having the next man up beat whoever that is, and this time is Patrick.
Yeah,
Mahomes.
I think the same thing. I am. I'm not agreeing with you just to agree with you. I'm. It's not that I'm a massive fan of all those quarterbacks, although I admire and think very highly of all three of them. But I do miss them in the playoffs because I don't know what I'm going to get, and I love seeing greatness. I do. Now, then here's what I have to wrestle with.
Okay.
Would I rather have him in instead of C.J. Stroud tonight?
Yes.
Well, who says C.J. Stroud can't someday find that greatness, although he's 0 for 3 in games where the temperature is below 30 degrees.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So that's where I wrestle with it, but I do kind of miss them in that sense. KG, you don't miss them. Why?
No, I believe in parity. There should be a place for parity in the NFL. And, those guys are great. I like watching greatness too. Like, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I think it's a little fun this year because you're going to get something that you probably didn't expect. And for quarterbacks like a Josh Allen that are still in the dance as of right now, this is a no excuses year for him. Like, if you can't get past the AFC with no Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, then, that kind of adds to sports debates like, all right, Josh Allen ain't going to never do it. Or the Buffalo Bills are just cursed and they'll never get back. I like those kind of storylines. And then for Patrick Mahomes, it gives him something to look forward to the next year. The big bad man is back. What's going to happen, So, or maybe this is a gap year for the Chiefs as they get ready for the next phase of what it looks like with Patrick Mahomes. So I do agree with y'all, but at the same time, I like the parody, man.
Yeah, I would just remind you that, and this is not an excuse for Josh Allen. I've got some numbers over his last 7 playoff games that might change your mind.
Yeah.
But he may have to face 3 of the 4 best defenses in the National Football League this year.
That part.
One of my biggest frustrations with sports discussion, not saying I'm necessarily right here,
I got you,
is that we focus only on one guy. And it's like, well, it's the quarterback. If he can't do it this year, when's he ever going to do it? They said the same thing about Lamar Jackson last year. Not that there was no Patrick Mahomes, but isn't it time? Well, he didn't fumble the football. I mean, Mark Andrews did. You know, he doesn't do it. I mean, there are
play leading up to that.
If there are certain times you want to blame the quarterback, go right ahead.
Yeah.
But in the last 7 playoff games for Josh Allen, he's thrown for 2,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 1 interception, and rushed for 400.
No, he's been great in the playoffs.
So how in the world has it been on him and only him? It kind of goes back to our Jordan Love conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not, and I think it's one of those interesting situations as it relates to Josh Allen in the playoffs. For as much of the jokes that I cracked during the season, oh, it's the Golden Boy, oh, this is red, white, and blue, it's Captain America. You got people running around on networks talking about he's the greatest football player I've ever seen. For as much as I joke about that because I disagree, one thing you can know: when January comes around, Josh Allen is gonna be ready to play. Like every single game that they've played in, or every game you've watched come down to the wire, come down to overtime, end at the end of the game, etc. Josh Allen, he laid it all out there on the line. And he has his best games. He's actually the best version of himself in the playoffs.
That's true.
Now, he'll have a couple stinkers during the regular season. He does this every year. I was at a game he lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson was the quarterback. We lost him. I'm not BSing.
How does that happen?
Exactly. We watched them lose to the Dolphins this year.
Yeah.
No, for
we
sure.
watched them lose to the Falcons this year.
Yeah.
And play god-awful.
Yeah.
But it is something about that man in Buffalo that when he gets to the playoffs, he can let all the other stuff go and he can put on that cape. So kudos to him because I crack a lot of jokes. But he turns it up in the playoffs. He does whatever he has to do. And yesterday was one of those situations, man. He was banged up. He was nicked. Here's my finger. Here's my knee. Here's my this. Here's my that. I don't have a number 1 wide receiver. I don't need it.
Yeah, he figured it out.
Man.
Give
He
me the
did.
ball. Get me a stop and get the hell out the way.
Kool-Aid, do you miss those guys in the playoffs?
For this year, no. I feel like those guys are guys that are going to be back, and that's
Political
why I
answer.
kind of like seeing some of the new blood. I think it creates new narratives for next year, for a season where I'm hoping that it ends with the Lions on top anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of like seeing some of this new blood. There's been players who we've heard about, like Trevor Lawrence, and guys that you hear
He wasn't
people
very
cap
good.
about, like Justin Herbert. And it's like sometimes
He wasn't very good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And sometimes you just want to see the narrative. These guys in the playoffs, because selfishly as a Lions fan, you know, it's nice to see somebody else not look as good despite the expectations.
The one thing I don't like about it, though, is, and I don't know if this is necessary, this wouldn't change if they were in it, because they don't deserve to be in it. Let's start there just so y'all know.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to be in it.
Flat
Chiefs
out.
were trash. The Ravens were trash. And Cincinnati Bengals.
Man, Tennessee sucks.
Facts. They actually do. So, this year they didn't deserve to get in the dance. They didn't belong. They didn't get the chance. But as it relates to this year, no team looks like a Super Bowl winner per se.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing. I mean, there will be a Super Bowl winner. They're gonna look like it in the time. But it's like,
But that's why it's fun.
It is. You're right. It is.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun.
I'm locked into every playoff game now.
me
I'm
too.
not just assuming, Lamar and them going to get to the next round.
You
I
were
ain't gotta watch
before.
it.
You were
Yeah.
before. I mean, it's not like you'd be tuning
No,
out if
for
Patrick
sure.
Mahomes is playing, but I hear what you're
No,
saying.
you're right.
I'm with
You're
you
right.
on that. I'm with you. I
Like,
don't
to
know.
that point, I'm not it's Monday. There's nothing else on. I've already watched my show. Landman is amazing. If you haven't
It
seen
is a good show.
if
Y'all
you
keep
haven't-
talking about
it's
that. I'm
amazing.
happy.
If you haven't seen His and Hers, whew,
I've not seen
that's
that.
another show. But no shows. So I'm gonna watch tonight. But am I that excited to see aging Aaron Rodgers and C.J. Stroud?
I'm super excited. I mean, I'm going to flip back and forth between that and the Red Wings and Hurricanes. I mean, I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
You know, I want the sun to go down as quickly as possible so I can watch it. And I loved every single bit of the weekend.
Yeah.
I'll complain about college. I'm being a hypocrite here. I'll complain about college football and the amount of games that are being played. I think it's ridiculous, okay? The fact that Indiana is going to play their 16th game Thursday and Miami is doing 17th, right, from Miami? Because they played that extra game, right?
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So it's 17th. They're going to play an NFL schedule on Thursday. Most people would go, who cares, Shep? What do you give a crap? I care because, obviously, Pollyanna, I care about the kids. But, from a historical standpoint and from I got to call myself out here, being a hypocrite, I'm glued Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. And I'll be the first to admit, give me more. I absolutely love it.
It's NFL Junior, the NCAA at this point. So.
And it's about to change even more. Mm-hmm. Realistically, what Mark Cuban is doing with Indiana is going to be a small it's going to be the new blueprint because it is the NFL. There's only one difference between college and NFL right now. You know what it is?
What?
College teams don't have owners.
True.
That's the only difference right now. And it's what's the word I was looking for? The conversation wise is every year is basically 1 year contract. Yeah. NFL is 3 year contracts.
That's true. Yeah, no labor agreements.
You have to stay and extend. In college, there are 1 year contracts. I can leave every single year. It's the NFL.
Here's the other thing that people need to take note of moving forward, and you said this last week. It's a different college football landscape and how teams are going to be built. Think of this. Indiana is one of the, not taking anything away from them.
Yeah.
They're one of the oldest teams in college football history. Yep. All right. They have 47 players between the ages of 22 and 25. 47.
Yep.
All right.
Grown men.
Let me give you a comparison. The NFL has 140 players before the ages of 21 and 22. Wow. Okay. That puts it in pretty interesting perspective right there. All right. So there's nothing wrong with that. No. They're playing by the rules. People can complain about Carson Beck all they want that he's in his 7th year. It's the rules.
Yep.
Yeah. Why the rule doesn't pertain to, Trinidad Chambliss, I don't know. But those are the rules.
Year 6,
and they can, they can take advantage of it.
It's also still very interesting thinking about the difference between the 25-year-old and the 18-year-old. Like I've told this story. I don't know if I've told it here before, but playing Utah my sophomore year, we played against Utah. Utah has guys do missions. They have JUCO. They have time. They basically were the first one to kind of cheat the COVID situation, if you will. There was a safety on that team. We played. His name was Antoine Sanders. Okay. I used to look at the scouting report. I'm looking at all the DBs, all the safeties, the linebackers, defense, reading all the little nuanced things about them. I would read their interests because I would use it sometime on the field and go out there and be like, hey, ain't no playing no violin over here today. What? How you know I play the violin? I was like, yeah, I do my homework, you little punk. Anyway. But I saw this. I'm looking at this date of birth. I'm like 78.
Right.
I was like, I'm doing 83, 78. Get on the field. He had 27 tackles.
Oh, my God.
But the amount of tackles wasn't the interesting thing. Shep, the first time he hit me, I knew I was 19 years old and he was 25. Like the disparaging difference between a 25-year-old young man, or I guess you're a grown man at 25 versus 18. Yeah. Man, he hit me in my chest. I said,
Bray, they call that grown man
Coach,
strength.
They cheating out there, man. Coach, so there's a big difference between 25, 24, 23, and 18 and 19, man. And that's why you see that level of dominance that Indiana is exerting. Everybody in the country is old. Indiana's a little bit older. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's not unique in this sport. I mean, college hockey, when Michigan was playing for a national title a couple of years ago, they were all 18 years old. When they're going up against teams that are 22, 23 years old because, they had those extra years playing in junior and then they slide into college. There is a narrative out there that I think the San Francisco 49ers are killing. All right? And the narrative, and we used it too. So let's look at ourselves in the mirror here. It's about injuries. All right? The San Francisco 49ers, their 6 highest paid players, which also happen to be very productive, by the names of Purdy and Bosa and Ayuk and Williams and Warner and Kittle, combined to miss 60 games this year, including the playoffs. Have you ever seen a team do as much without some of their elite talent as San Francisco this year?
No, I haven't. And I feel like at every turn this season and year, as it's going on, as you see Mac Jones starting to have the success, game 1, game 2, you're like, this isn't going to sustain. Well, it did sustain. Brock Purdy comes back. Then this guy's out. That guy's out. You're like, it's just not going to be the 49ers year. I commend them for what they're doing. But at some point, CMC he's going to run out of gas. At some point, Robert Saleh's defense, who is injured here, injured there, injured everywhere, they just aren't going to be able to stop him.
I thought this was just swan song season.
They've gotten better. What CMC is doing, CMC is legitimately the best offensive player this season. Don't give me what JSN did. Don't give me what Puka Nacua is doing. Don't even give me what Matthew Stafford is doing.
Bijan Robinson?
Better than that. Like, he's 1,000 and 1,000. He's 17 touchdowns, but every single time you need a play for him. There's games I watch Bijan Robinson, I don't even know he's on the field.
Yeah.
Not once will you watch a game and CMC is not there. Not once are you going to watch a game where CMC is not doing every single thing that he can. And Kyle Shanahan, we made a lot about him as it relates to blowing the lead 28-3, blowing Super Bowls, et cetera, et cetera. This coaching job that he's done this year with Robert Saleh and this team, you can very much give him the MVP. I mean, give him the coach of the year, and I wouldn't have a problem with it at all.
I said that about 3 weeks ago when we were talking about coaches of the year. Ben Johnson deserves some recognition for sure. Mike Vrabel, absolutely.
Can I throw something else to
please.
that? I apologize. We will be having a much different conversation about Kyle Shanahan if a quarterback could have hit a pass. Like, and that's how fast the narrative changed. Just think about that. If Jimmy Garoppolo, Porno Jimmy, could have hit the wide open player.
It's real.
The wide open player that Kyle Shanahan drew the play up, drew the play call, everything worked perfect, hits it wide open.
Something about those
with
JGs.
a minute, was it minute 40 left?
Yeah.
Hits a wide open. We're having a different conversation about Kyle Shanahan. He didn't throw the pass, but he called the play.
We might have a different conversation about it totally if Philadelphia wins the game and they don't drop as many third down passes. If A.J. Brown doesn't drop 2 passes that he should have caught, and that ties a career high for him, and they didn't drop the third down drops. They had 4 drops on third down. 4 of them.
Can't have it in the playoffs.
A.J. Brown, hear me out. I'm a wide receiver. I'm always going to lobby for the wide receiver, but at the same time, I keep it funky. You cannot have national commercials. You cannot have national commercials where you're basically trolling your organization, trolling your head coach, trolling your quarterback, saying, always open, 7-Eleven, just running on the treadmill. How many times did he say 7-Eleven in that commercial? 5, 6,
it's
7,
a good
8?
commercial, though. I will say that.
No, it's a great commercial. It's a great commercial.
It's great till it's time to catch a pass.
On the field, wide open and dropping passes.
You're right. You're 100%
And then
right.
gets mad at Nick Sirianni when Nick Sirianni put a little press on you. Like, I get it. There was a lot going on in Philly this year. And he knew about it. Offense. The offenses sucked. The offensive coordinator was bad all year. Like, they were inconsistent all year. Dealt with some injuries, but just like you said, we're not going to give that as an excuse. When you have an opportunity to make a play, you have to make a play, especially when all we hear out of you all year is give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. He didn't back it up, man. And at the end of the day, he let his team down yesterday. I don't know what the future of that team is, but I can tell you there are 2 people that may not be there. One for sure.
Yeah, and he's one of them. Nick Sirianni said during the week, though, that he might call plays. If things don't go well, he might take over play calling. I'd love to know if he did. He's full of his oats a little bit. You mentioned Christian McCaffrey. Just a quick note here. Most consecutive playoff games with a touchdown. Ready? Thurman Thomas, 9. Okay. Christian McCaffrey, 8. Tied with Emmitt Smith and John Stallworth.
Wow.
Ooh. Love John Stallworth.
Super Bowl. And all I hear is Super Bowl winners in that conversation right there.
And all of them are Hall of Famers.
Damn right.
Except for, I'm not saying McCaffrey is, but the other 3 are.
Yeah.
All right.
He's headed that way.
I mean, Thurman Thomas unfortunately didn't win a Super Bowl, but he played in 4 of them. Yeah. So
he was a hell of a freaking player, though.
He was.
Yeah, he was. But Christian McCaffrey's a hell of a player, man. His father was too. Just watching him, like that catch that he made
over the shoulder.
Well, I forgot.
Which
There's
one?
so many of them. The one that he jumped up and caught down there in the red zone on 3rd down and 10, he caught the sticks maybe at the 3-yard line. Like that's a running back going up and making that play. Like that's a running back that just says, look, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm just going to go out there. I love players that they don't make excuses. All you see Christian McCaffrey do, play after play, game after game, is just be ready.
First of all, I thought the play was awesome. The one that I'm referring to, Juwan Jennings' pass was pretty damn good, by the way. So I thought of you right away with the catch. How he caught it, number one. But I want to know how difficult it is. Juwan Jennings, by the way, has as many playoff touchdown passes as Justin Herbert. But I'm just, both of them have
Shots
2.
fired.
But I'm just wondering, for a guy to make that catch, whether it's a running back or not, I thought it was a pretty impressive catch. What did you appreciate it?
I appreciate it because you caught it the right way. Like at the end of the day, like if you're a taller receiver, you can maybe jump and high point it, not necessarily saying you'll be able to get it, but you can jump, turn around, high point it. What he did is he trusted his technique. Technique tells you ball drops over your outside shoulder, you catch it like this, you look like that. He caught on the inside, looking, and was able to follow the ball into the hands. Like, you could tell his father played wide receiver in the NFL, because that right there is something that he's been doing since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, not every receiver can make that type of catch. Damn sure not every running back. Like, the way in which he caught that pass and made it easy. Snagged it. It wasn't got hands on it to slow it down and found it. No, it was a catch. As soon as it hit his hands, he rolls in the end zone, and he catches the touchdown. I'm happy that he was able to – because the narrative was he couldn't finish the season when he was in Carolina.
Yeah.
The narrative was he's a small guy. Well, it's because he's looking at him next to Cam Newton. Cam Newton, 6'6", 250. Right. So for him to be able to have this career, like, boom again, shout out to him, man. But the 49ers are – this is they're about as real as it gets.
They're a fun story, actually. It really is. I know people – we didn't necessarily have this conversation last week, but I wonder how people feel about it. And by the way, San Francisco is now going to go to Seattle.
Yeah.
So that means San Francisco played Seattle in Week 1, Week 18, and now in the playoffs.
It's crazy.
That's the first time it's ever happened in NFL history.
How they going to fare without a Kittle, though? Do we know the word on him?
Well, yeah, he's out.
He's gone.
He's blown Achilles. He ain't coming back from that.
Tough.
That was my biggest fear of Wicked Pickle the other night.
Tonjes has played enough this season and made enough plays, but George Kittle's not like tight end 7. Like, he's not like tight end 11.
Yeah,
right. George Kittle's like tight end 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
That's tough to replace that.
Colston Loveland eventually will be in that conversation for what he did the other day. It was unbelievable. So it's pretty interesting there with San Francisco, and I do believe, and as you mentioned, you've got all those guys. You've got all those guys missing time, and they're playing with what appeared to be their 5th and 6th linebacker. Eric Kendricks was out there.
Kendricks,
he
made the play.
I thought he was nice.
He made the play at the end of the game.
Yeah.
That comes from the coach. Like, and I'm not trying to disrespect the player. It comes from a team. Let's start there. We pass and blame and this. It comes from the team as a collective, but that comes from the coach, man. Like, his motivation and him being able to get these players and them playing for him.
Are you saying specifically Robert Saleh, or are you referring to Kyle Shanahan?
Well, you can say both.
Okay.
You can say both as it relates to the defense, but defense has had its mental lapses throughout the year. They didn't have one that day, but just talking about Kyle Shanahan as a head man, because he's been under fire for a very long time. Like, he's been under fire ever since Jimmy Garoppolo missed that touchdown pass. It was like, oh, shoot. He's a choke artist, 28-3. Then he gets another opportunity to go to a Super Bowl, and then they lose again. It's like, oh, this guy, he's not going to be it. He just finds ways to make it happen. So
we were talking about Philadelphia. I'm anxious to get people's thoughts on the Eagles just from this standpoint. We wanted the Lions to go all in.
Jalen Phillips.
Yeah.
Man.
We wanted the Lions to go all in. Philly did, and it didn't end well. They played one more game than the Lions. Now, it's probably not fair, but I want people's thoughts on that. In the chat, always appreciate you guys joining us. We've got some super chats that Kool-Aid's going to read when we come back here on the Braylon Edwards Show after this from Smoothie King, which sounds really good right now.
It does.
And Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Eagles got to fix the front offices at least. Anyway, because there's a lot of good things and there's some bad things. Michigan winning can slow you down. Look, it doesn't like winning right now. Sun's out, guns out, fun's out. You should be stopping at Smoothie King. Look, they got the real ingredients right now, the real fruit, the real protein to get you refueled. Get your day started early with a smoothie. Get it for lunch to give you that boost to finish the day. I'm telling you, this is where we go. And then the menu itself, the avocado toast, they want to be a healthier, quick option. Just because it's fast food doesn't mean it has to be unhealthy. That's their mission. That's their plan. And don't forget about the high school athlete of the week that we do. We'll get back into that in February. But nominate. Scan the QR code to nominate. But we'll start that again in
Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning is there ready to help you with whatever your house may need, whether it's warm outside and you need to cool it down, or whether it's cold outside and you need to heat it up. Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning for over 40 years has been serving Metro Detroit as a reliable service heating and air conditioning company, treating customers like family. They're also fast and dependable during emergency service. So check them out on their website today, SharonsHeating.com, or call them today, 734-238-3805, and make sure you tell them the Braylon Edwards Show sent you.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, the ache. No side effects, no mistake. Chill Sub-Zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill Sub-Zero.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Let me tell the people. Massage.
In Bloomfield Hills, all right? Massage Chair House is the largest chair showroom in the Midwest, featuring top tier brands like Infinity and Osaki. This is your destination for premium comfort and cutting edge wellness technology. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at the Wellness Doc. Y'all got to follow him because these chairs are amazing. I'm telling you, if you see them, you're going to want to at least step into that showroom and test them out yourself too. At least go in there and get yourself a free massage, all right? Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
And while you in that massage chair, why don't you make some sports bets, man? The divisional round is almost upon us. And listen, if I told you that you can bet up to $1,000 and if you lose, you get all of that back, you would say I'm crazy. Well, I'm crazy. And you could get $1,000 back on your sports bet. Listen, you want to go to Caesars Sportsbook, download the app, use code Woodward1000, and if your first bet does not hit, you'll get that deposit bet back up to $1,000. All you gotta do is just place a $20 bet, and that money is yours. Download the Caesars Sportsbook app today, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Once again, that code Woodward1000.
And we are
in the
back.
words of KG, that's fact.
There you go.
You want to do some
bums.
you want to do some super chats, Kool-Aid, or you want to wait for a moment?
Hey, no, we could definitely do some super chats here. And shout out to the people for keeping us updated on all things Braylon Edwards. I see Anthony Patterson in the chat say, hey, Braylon, did you hear that AJ Hawk gave you a little shout out on the Pat McAfee show today?
Nice.
I didn't. That's probably the first time I've been mentioned on the Pat McAfee show, man. Appreciate it if it was.
Oh, they were talking about the good players to come out of Michigan. And he said that the first player he talked about was Braylon.
You know, I appreciate that.
That's fire, bro.
I appreciate that out of him because I hold him in. We were talking about a little bit off air. I hold AJ Hawk in high regard. Like, he was one of those guys that, like,
fire,
I
man.
love hate playing against, and I appreciate you guys for shouting it out. Love hate is because he came to play. Like, playing against AJ Hawk, playing against 47 was gonna make me better. I was gonna have to watch film. I was gonna have to be dialed in. I knew I was gonna have to get hit and get up and keep it moving. And it was some fun times. There was some fun games. So I appreciate that. It's respect. Like, you know, you can respect your rivals, and I think when you have a rivalry, you should respect your rivals if they earn it.
So here, can I just have one slight problem?
Get that man in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. So what I was going to say is, you know how I feel about certain words.
AJ Hawks in the College Football Hall of Fame?
No, but you know how I feel about certain words. And he says, when they were talking about quote unquote good players from Michigan.
Oh, great.
The word great has to be used. I'm not saying that because he's
Talk
here,
about
okay? When you go over 1,000 yards in college in 13 games in 3 straight years, when you lead the way with 97 rocks and 1,300 plus yards, and the year before lead the way with 14 touchdowns.
Talk about it.
If you want to put the word great in there, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
You know,
good is for those who maybe catch 800 yards worth of passes, right?
Good is what came after Braylon. We've
I'm
had good receivers.
I'm just telling you right now, I don't use that word very often. I think it's overused. One of the most overused words in our language. Oh, that's great. Nah, not so much. Those were great years.
Yeah.
That is a great college career.
How you judge, and like in my estimation, especially as it relates to college, how you play against your rivals matters. Like what you look like versus your rivals
100%.
matters. In 3 games against Ohio State, I think I had like 420 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I love this, dog.
Like, so
that matters.
So when it comes
But I'm
to
looking
Ohio
at
State,
I'm looking at the total body of work too.
Yeah.
Okay, because you remember those games. Michigan football fans,
I don't
if
know
they
how.
were there,
It's a lot of headaches.
but there are certain. You know, and by the way,
Might
you
wanna get that
you
checked
played
out.
against other teams that were your rivals. It's Notre Dame and Michigan State.
Yeah, but
You
they
don't
had
get
to.
to 1,340 yards and 97 rocks by doing it against one team.
I'm about to say, yeah,
Okay, so
saucy all your rivals.
that's the reason I would say just a small thing. I appreciate AJ Hawk. Good is fine if you want to use it. For me, great, and you've got to have something special to be great.
I love this, man. Just real quick, my man Shep is pulling out the Coming to America right now. He's
I
like,
swear.
look, Braylon is great. The rest of them is pretty good and terrible.
You're right.
Rocky outside.
Wasn't sure where you were going with
He
it. Now I
whooped
get
Joe
it.
Lewis's ass.
Okay. All right.
Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis, 178 years old. F you. Who next?
All right, go ahead,
Shout
bud.
out, man. Hey, Byron in the chat sends in the other super chat that we
Shout
have
out.
today. $5. #1 crown. So thank you for the support. The Packers fans, he says, we just got another one super chat pop in. But Byron says the Packers fans want to run Rashawn Gary out of town, and there are 3 teams in the NFC North who would love to sign him. They don't know what they want, man. Packers fans seem all confused, guys.
They're trying to get Rashawn Gary out of town. Then what are you going to do for the first half of the
They're
season?
hurt.
when
Their
you don't have
fans are
Michael
hurt,
Parsons?
bro.
You said
Their fans are hurt.
they just want everything. Like they don't know what they want.
Join the flipping club.
Like,
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. Like they don't know what they want.
about
they don't know
time.
what they need. It's tough for Green Bay. Green Bay hasn't had when you win championships, especially, or you're a part of the conversation of being close. You know, when it gets ways and a ways and a ways and a ways away.
Yeah.
Like, you know what Green Bay are? They're kind of similar to what the Celtics were. They're similar to what the Celtics were until obviously the Celtics closed the door and won the championship.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
kind of a story franchise. Hadn't won since 08.
Doubts
the whole
on their
9 yards.
stars. Yep.
Now you start to hear the clamoring. I don't know if they can get back to what they were. That's what Green Bay is.
That's pretty fair.
And that's why they're starting to panic, though, because Micah Parsons isn't like newsflash. He's not playing next year until November.
Yep.
Well, newsflash, they've got some issues with draft picks too,
tackle,
right? I mean,
draft
they're
picks.
giving the 20th overall pick to Dallas as part of the Micah Parsons trade, right? So I'm not saying it was the right move because I would trade for Micah Parsons, but
it's risky, and this is the risk
it is
side of
risky,
it.
and that. So there's a couple things. So I want to get into Philadelphia and how risky that was too, but I wonder how much they're still hurting Green Bay, and I can understand why, with Ben Johnson's handshake with Matt LaFleur. Now, it's not the first time that it was quick.
Yeah.
It's happened a couple of times this year, but still.
That was
interesting.
I don't have anything negative to say about what you do in the locker room. Like you want to get in the locker room and you want to say F them and F that. I mean, that's their thing.
Yeah.
It's like F the Packers. Like that as their mantra. I have no problem with that. That's what time it is. Whatever you want to say.
That's what time it is.
That's what time it is.
Right.
But on the field, there's a level of you can take 0.5 seconds to hey, good game, or like hey, good game, and then roll about your business. Doing a drive-by handshake is diabolical.
It was like the prom hug version of a handshake.
Handshake is the most because at the end of the day, you got to respect the other 31 guys on this field. Only 31 people in this world know what you deal with. Only 31 people in this world know what you deal with. So what if your rivals and you started talking about stuff? I can't wait to keep beating Matt LaFleur's, but the run-by handshake, because that sets a tone which is dangerous for the world we live in now, the era we're in. They already lack respect.
Yeah.
True.
Talking about this era of players and people, they lack respect. Now I see you do that. I don't have to respect the players we play against. I don't have to respect anybody.
Yeah.
My coach don't respect that coach.
No, and I'm
Little
off.
league players
Like
about to be wild now.
I would just caution Ben Johnson, be a little careful here.
Right.
And I know they won 2 out of the 3, but I'd be a little careful. Offensive plays run with the lead in the 3 Bears-Packers meetings this year. The Packers 106, the Bears 0.
Yeesh.
With the lead. That's the key part of it, okay? So I think you got to be careful there because you haven't necessarily run them out of the – I know. Well, they haven't necessarily run them out of the building.
I think the dangerous thing for the Bears, and this is the same thing about them, what they did, hey, they came back. They've had a hell of a season. Their fourth quarter, like, ridiculous in the NFL. You got to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You got to watch out because what happens is I think the Bears might have – that was it. That was it.
Well, they'll play the Rams. Let's see what happens with the Rams.
I'm saying,
now,
like, that was their high. That was their motion. He's running off the field. He's doing the run-by handshake. They talking about F the back. Everybody's excited. You got Caleb Williams crying after a fresh new manicure in the locker room. Talk about some man. I'm being funny. Like, he deserved that moment. But when you exude that much energy, there's still playoffs left. Like, I'm speaking from experience. Like when we beat the Patriots, who were the number 1 seed in 2010. Like, we're doing backflips on the field. Me and San Antonio, Flyboys in the building tonight. You know, you get back to the city. We turned Manhattan up, had an amazing time. You thought about it all week. But we were slow, sluggish, and rugged coming out that next game in the AFC Championship against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We gave everything we had the week before.
Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it? It's a fine line between act like you've been there before and having that spirit and that emotion that he has used after games that has allowed them to win 12 games now so far. But he has said, basically, this is the expectation. We're going into this playoff tournament. We expect to win them all. The players have echoed that sentiment. That's fine. You would hope to hear that for sure. But when you use that type of energy, just remember, there's another team that has a Super Bowl pedigree with some pretty big-time players coming your way, and Matthew Stafford's used to Chicago to a certain extent.
So and I think they're smart enough to realize that. But I hate to be the old man here, but I like that type. I know, right? I like the rivalry aspect of it. I kind of like it that is giving it some juice. And you got to look at the Bears have been terrorized by the Packers for a very, very long time.
Sure.
And I understand that Aaron Rodgers was behind most of that. Mm-hmm. But the fact that, first year coach, they finally, get into the playoffs, they win a game. I can understand that emotion. Though. Yeah, you said what?
Hey, Ben Johnson wasn't here for that terrorization.
No, he wasn't. But he's a part of the change. So I can't be mad at them adding a little juice, getting in the locker room after the Bears, man. This is what the NFC North is supposed to be.
I like the locker room. Yeah. I just don't like the run by handshake on the field.
Yeah.
Like, have some class. Like all eyes are gonna be on you after the game. Have some class. Shake your hand. I will say this though, one more playoff win, And Ben Johnson in 1 year will have the same amount of wins as you know who.
Oh boy, don't
Dan
go there.
Campbell.
Don't go there yet.
I just threw it out there. One more win, and he's
Right.
got 2.
Which,
for as good as we say, he's got 2 as well.
Which handshake was worse, the Jim Harbaugh or this one?
This one.
I know. I just wanted to bring up Jimmy handshake.
I didn't think the Harbaugh one was really that big of a deal. I was at that game. I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
It was Schwartz.
I think that was Schwartz being pissed off.
It was Schwartz.
A little bit.
For sure.
He felt like he got low, bro.
But Jim is, I know him personally. Jim know how to turn that knife a little bit.
Yeah, he'll tweak it.
He tweaked it just enough to get that response out of Schwartz. That wasn't that bad. This one right here was like, man, I don't care about you. Yeah, all right, man. Good game.
Right.
Damn.
So let me get you back to Philadelphia. This is such a fun discussion. I've got so many questions going through my mind. Philadelphia went all in. All right, they traded for Jalen Phillips.
Yeah.
They made a number of different trades, and people were applauding them universally. I was.
Yeah,
I was.
Same.
Okay. It didn't work. It doesn't mean you don't make it. It doesn't mean you don't do this moving forward, but it did not work. The guy that so many people wanted, think about it for a minute. Zadarius Smith, he goes to Philly, he retires. Jalen Phillips, how many times did we see in the chat? Why didn't the Lions get in on that? Shame on them. Did you see what kind of game he played yesterday? Anybody?
0. He didn't show up on the stat sheet.
Well, no, he played.
Yeah, he did.
He played a lot of snaps. He played 50-plus snaps.
He played, and initially early on, I did see what he did because he ended up with a stunt, and that stunt led directly to a sack by Jalen Carter.
Yes.
Early in the game. That was the direct effect.
Right.
But after that,
nothing.
It was like, where's he at? Mm-hmm. To your point, so is that the question? Like, is that...
Well,
Lions fans, what about now?
Well, all I'm saying is, since he was traded to Philadelphia,
right,
he's had 2 sacks.
Yeah.
And is that enough? Now, he played really well against Detroit, if you recall.
Oh, great.
He did. he really did. I mean, he had a couple of tackles for loss, and he had a sack. But he had 2 sacks. Now, I liked him in Miami.
Right.
I thought he'd been a really good fit here.
Right.
Whether it's for a third-round pick or not, I'm not sure. But I think Brad Holmes, and you and I talked about this the other day, he deserves some criticism. He took a lot of criticism because of what Philadelphia did, and in the end, it didn't work out for the Eagles, did it? Or did it?
I think this is a one-off, and I wouldn't compare this in the conversation about what Brad did and what he didn't do versus what this team did.
Okay.
The Philadelphia Eagles, they operate like this every single year. They did it this year. Didn't work.
Right.
I think Jalen Phillips is still a good player. You saw it in that play right there. You saw it a couple times this game. They have a lot of other – their defense is much better than mine. They may not need Jalen Phillips as much as us. They did it last year at the trade deadline, after the trade deadline, before the season started. What they do last year, Shep? They did it the year before.
No,
that.
they didn't – I don't think they added last year.
They did. I got to look at the exact player.
Okay.
But they added last year, and
Okay.
they won the Super Bowl. They did it the year before. It didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
They did it the year before, and they got to the Super Bowl, and they lost. So I'm not going to look at a one-off and say, well, it didn't work for them, so maybe Brad Holmes is off the hook. No, they do it every single year.
Yeah.
They got a couple of very interesting decisions to make, and they're unrestricted free agents. Their safety, Reed Blankenship, is an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah.
N'Kobe Dean is an unrestricted free agent.
He had a
Dallas
bad play in that
Goedert
game.
is an unrestricted
Really
free
good
agent.
year this year.
Got to have him back.
Yeah, so they've got some decisions to make for sure.
I hate it. This new tight end situation. The tight ends have become the goal line standard. They've become the tush-push guy. Or if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, they've become the jet sweep tight end kick pass. Don't have your running back. I'm old school when it comes to this. Don't have your running back get all the way down there and then you bring 88 out of nowhere and be like, here, you scored this touchdown. Like, don't do that.
I agree with that.
First of all, he's got 13 touchdowns this year.
Mm-hmm.
9 of them should be Saquon Barkley's.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, like, don't do that.
Did you? I don't disagree at all.
Maybe in the playoffs,
of course, I'm also the guy who
you want to score, but like that, don't do that.
I was also the guy in 1985. I was really pissed that Fridge Perry got a touchdown and
Same.
Walter Payton didn't. All right, so I'm
Holy
sorry.
shit would be mad.
I think it's look. I'm not a Chicago Bears fan by any stretch.
Nah.
But my guess is if Mike Ditka had one regret, that would be it. Right?
He was
Walter Payton deserved to score a touchdown there. Don't give me this bull crap in your entire life where you're like, he deserves to go out how he wants, or he deserves to have get paid for all that he's accomplished. No running back until Barry Sanders was greater, maybe Jim Brown, than Walter Payton.
Yeah. Fact.
And he gets to the Super Bowl, and you give a defensive tackle a chance to score a touchdown instead of Walter Payton. I thought that was ridiculous.
Also, too, you add to that, Walter Payton for 7, 8, 9 years before they got to this 85, Walter Payton was the only thing they had, and they're giving him the ball all the freaking time, and he took all the hits, all the punishment, all the pain. The thing that pissed you off even more about that scenario, that situation, yes, that sucked, but it's the D-back, number 46. He went to Northwestern.
Doug Fensick.
I can't stand him because he's the one that came out and said, well, sweetness is selfish, this, that, and the third. Like, it's all about the team. I don't understand why Walter Payton would be mad. Like, man, go screw yourself.
Yeah, screw yourself.
Your
Come
Northwestern
on.
education.
You should know better than that,
Like,
okay? The greatest well, wait a minute. I got to be careful there.
At the time.
I was going to say the greatest football player in Bears history. Butkus was unbelievable. But either way, he's one of the greatest players of all time in Chicago Bears history, and that's what you do. You give it to – and come on. That's really not even a conversation. I agree with you, Saquon Barkley down there. I'm watching Philadelphia, and I'm thinking, okay, Devontae Smith's really good. Goddard's really good. Yeah. A.J. Brown –
really
until
good.
yesterday.
He had a horrible game.
Yeah, he had a
really
horrible
good,
game, but he's a really good player. Saquon Barkley, obviously, people talk about their offensive line, and I get it, right? How good it is all season long, even though Lane Johnson couldn't play. I'm having a hard time understanding how that team doesn't win. And San Francisco, without all that talent, without Warner, without Bosa, Williams was gimpy. They lost Kittle, all that stuff, and they do win. Is it as simple? KG, go ahead, fire an arrow at me. Is it as simple as Jalen Hurts?
Yes. Yes, flat out.
Think about it. Jalen Hurts on the first 3 drives was really good. After the third drive, 9 for 21, 75 yards.
Yeah,
that's horrific.
I think it deals with it's the coach, it's the locker room, it's what you plan for. A lot of that because Philadelphia's had issues for the last 6 years. Like, let me not say 6 too many. They've had issues for 3 years. They've had conversations around the locker room, around the receivers, around Jalen Hurts, around people messing with people's wives. Like, they've had so many things, firing the coach going. They've had so much dysfunction. Having to bring back Brandon Graham, shout out to BG, having to bring back Brandon Graham as a guy that's going to help you with the culture, help you kind of calm things down and be a go-between and be a guy that can separate the masses and refocus, and this is what we're doing. They've been this for 3, 4, 5 years. Problem is they've gotten to the Super Bowl twice. They won the Super Bowl. They've had all the endorsements, so you can kind of mask and cover things up and do that. That hasn't been the case with the 49ers. I think once they got rid of Brandon Ayuk, who was their only distraction, they're dialed in. It's a much more dialed-in team, and they're playing for each other. At least that's what it seems like this season. You can't have this many people miss on a game-in and game-out basis, and you still win 12 games, and you still win the first-round playoff without people buying it and without having a guy that can lead you to that. Nick Sirianni lost this team, and then as they lose offensive linemen, as players get hurt, as there starts to lose coordinators, and it looks a little bit different, and now it's not as easy. Well, when those things start to come to the forefront and you lose games and you look bad, now it gets off the rails. It got off the rails for the Eagles this year, and I think it's been able to be recovered like they've done it before. It got off the rails in 2023, and then they got it back on the rails. This isn't coming back. They're not about to get this back on the rails, at least on the offensive side of the ball.
No.
So a few things we want to get to as we roll on this eventful Monday here on the Braylon Edwards Show. Sergei Fedorov's number gets retired tonight, number 91. Excited to talk about that with Bray. I want to know from him and from you in the chat who had the best weekend. Is it a preview of Braylon's best and Braylon busts, which oftentimes we do on a Monday? Who was the best? Who was the worst of the weekend? Got a couple of suggestions. Maybe you can give us yours in the chat after a quick timeout from Les Stanford and Jack's Car Wash. Les Stanford continues to deliver the goods. That's right. That's for real. Look at the 2026 Silverado. It smells really good in here, by the way. Usually it doesn't smell this good. But
it's my cologne, man.
Yeah,
you know
is it your cologne? Is that what it is?
I'm just joking.
$189 a month for the Silverado plus tax. The Cadillac there, the XT6, just $359 a month plus tax. You can't do any better than that. I don't care if it's a Chevy, a Cadillac, a Buick, you name it. They've got it, and they've got a great deal for you with the inventory that is second to none. Go to lessstanford.com and see what I'm talking about.
Go to lessstanford.com and bring that car over to Jack's Car Wash. It's the #1 car wash in the state, over 40 locations. And if you get the unlimited plan for $29.99 a month, it will allow you access to all the locations to get all the things, the free vacuum, the free compressed air, hand towel dry services, the mat cleaning, all the things to keep your vehicle pristine. See, I pulled that word out for you guys today, pristine. We'll get you a fresh, new car wash. Text WSN to 888-522-1729. Get it and figure it out. Jack's is the only way to go.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, the ache. No side effects, no mistake. Chill Sub-Zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill Sub-Zero.
Fans, don't miss expert sports injury insights from Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Catch Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, as well as Thursdays right here on the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep, where he shares his top-tier advice to keep athletes in their peak condition. A lot of injuries this past weekend, so it's going to be interesting to talk to Doc and see what guys will be ready for the 2026 football season. He is here to help you stay in the game as well and perform at your best. Why don't you reach out to him, 248-426-9944 or MichiganSportsandSpine.com.
You're going to be watching the game tonight. If you're at home, reward yourself with a pizza. Will you? Especially a Buddy's Pizza. That's key, all right? You want the original Detroit-style pizza, and Buddy's has been doing it since 1946. 20 locations across the state of Michigan, so there's one near you. If you're looking for where that might be, go to buddyspizza.com, and they're going to save you money, too. Save 10% off your entire order using the promo code 10MEAL. That's 10 M-E-A-L. Buddy's Pizza, their salads, everything they've got, top-notch. It's the best in the business. You won't be disappointed. Go to buddyspizza.com.
And we back.
Well, what do you think?
What do I think about Buddy's?
Well, I know what you think about Buddy's,
pizza,
just like I do.
Great pizza.
Who impressed you most over the weekend? In the NFL.
Buddy's brisket pizza.
Ooh, that's a good one. Always impressive. Who impressed you most over the weekend? Which player or team is fine by me too. This doesn't have to be Braylon's, best or bust. I'm just asking.
Right.
Who had the best performance from the NFL playoffs?
Why don't you put that good NFL graphic up there, man?
I got you.
Animation to get it going. I think we know about our Jakes. Let's check this out. See, we got some winners up there, man. You know what I'm saying? We got he probably have his shirt off though.
Yeah, that's a good
that's
point.
Too much.
Yeah.
He probably would.
He
probably
there.
would have his shirt
Look at
off.
the detail on that. Even the wedding ring. That's impressive.
You see how dope that is, man?
That is
Shout out to
very
Rick,
dope.
Man, putting this together, man, on a day-to-day basis. I beat you to it today, Shaq. I beat you to
It's
it.
excellent. Yeah, I love it.
Realistically, if I'm just looking for out of these two, I think it has to be between the guy that I've given so much love that's in this picture and Christian McCaffrey, and a guy that the masses tend to love, but I guess I see why. Josh Allen was amazing as well. Josh Allen was pretty good in what he did, being able to – because it's like he responded in that second half. They really upped their game of play in the fourth quarter especially. It seemed like the Jags kind of had things rocking and rolling, and it didn't matter. He threw dimes, and he also used his legs. He played a really stout, strong game. So give me Josh Allen and CMC.
Yeah, Josh Allen on that last drive, 5 for 5, 53 yards, rushed for 10 yards, the game-winning touchdown. Originally,
lead change.
They had
the most in NFL history.
They had 4 in the fourth quarter.
That was the most in NFL playoff history.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Which is crazy considering he's also a part of that Chiefs game.
Yeah.
So when I heard the stat, I was like, yeah, it checks out.
Yeah.
So I was battling with this thought. Matthew Stafford threw for 300-plus yards and 3 touchdowns. That last touchdown to Cody Parkinson, I mean, unbelievable, to Parkinson.
And he said it. The Devontae Adams conversation.
Was that awesome or what?
He said it. But this is that he's
go ahead
done.
Go ahead and tell him what they said in case people.
You can tell the story, but he's done it twice because he also did that against Tom Brady. Now it should have been an interception
when Brady was at Tampa.
Yes.
Okay.
It should have been an interception, but DB drops the pass. The rest is history. But he went out there. He snatched the soul from Carolina as well as Tampa.
Yeah, that's according to Devontae Adams. Like Stafford said it at the podium, but he didn't say the one part. He said they asked him, "What did you say when you got out on the field?" And he said, "Let's go snatch this thing." And Devontae Adams was asked the same question. He said, "Let's go snatch their hearts." And he's like, "Man, it was cold. It was. I mean, his look in his eye, and then after he threw that pass." I don't want to sit there and go, I don't know many quarterbacks who can make that throw. I think a lot of great quarterbacks make that throw.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a catch. It was a hell of a throw. He's been really clutch. You can tell when athletes believe in a guy.
Yeah.
And it sure seemed like the Rams, there was no nervousness. There was nothing but belief.
Did he, obviously it's already over, it's already booked. Is he your MVP or is it going to be Drake May?
That's a great question, man. There's such a strong argument for both, right? I think what hurts New England is that they had the weakest schedule in football.
In history.
Okay. But what a turnaround.
Yep.
I think Drake May was really good. So I was thinking about Stafford, and then I got to be honest with you, man. The way New England's defense played
Christian Gonzalez
was Christian Gonzalez is really good. I went with the Patriots defense that impressed me most. All right, Caleb Williams was in that conversation for me. But the Patriots defense allowed no touchdowns. They had a half a dozen sacks. They allowed under 100 yards rushing and under 150 net total passing yards. The last team to do that in a playoff game was the 1985 Chicago Bears against the New York Giants.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah. So I went with New England's defense, if that's all right.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I'm not in the habit of making excuses. That Chargers team stunk.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't even think they were gonna sneak into the playoffs. That's how bad they are. When you lose Rashawn Slater and you use Joe Alt, even to start this game, Mario Hampton didn't play because of the ankle injury. So you had to go with Vidal in that game. Justin Herbert has been beat up every which way, including sideways all season long. He's got 2 breaks in his hand. He's got a knee. He's got an ankle. He has nobody to protect for him. Not making excuses once again. I'm just saying Vrabel and Drake May, it's only going to get a little bit tougher.
Dude, I was thinking about you when I saw this statistic about the Chargers. Their 2 starting tackles, and the reason you'll know,
and they're both
Pro Football Focus, give me a break.
Sucks.
But Pro Football Focus had them out of 42 tackles. One was ranked 40th. The other was ranked 41st. according to Pro Football Focus.
Yeah.
And they had a guard that was ranked like 39th. So Mekhi Becton was like 41st. So I get that, but still, that New England defense was pretty damn special. Either one of you guys got one.
I mean, easily Josh Allen, considering he got injured every other drive, but he was still able to go out there and do that. You lose Gabe Davis in the middle of the game, but I don't know how long he can last against these good defenses, though. That's where I'm kind of concerned, because you got to face the Broncos next week.
Right.
That is no easy task, man. It's
and
gonna
then
be
possibly New England after that if
it's
he
gonna
gets
be a
by.
tough road.
And that's a rematch against Denver from last year's wild card game in which Buffalo blew him out, if you recall.
Yeah,
Facts.
Yeah, and
Mile
you know,
high.
for me, I was gonna say I can't be a hypocrite. Everything that we saw from the Bears this weekend, the whole FTP, beating them, coming back in the playoffs,
good job,
doing it the way we've seen, I can't be a hypocrite. We in Detroit would have ate all of that up, all of that. Even though we sit here and we say Dan Campbell has class, he wouldn't go on there and say if he went into that locker room on that energy the way he does and did all of that.
Boy, what?
Let's be for real.
I'd have been
we
turned
would
up.
have already been outside celebrating off of Woodward Avenue. So what they did, I didn't believe in them at all. I picked them to be last. Then I said they're not even going to last a game in the playoffs. I have to tip the cap to them, man. I just have to. I don't even want to, but I'm trying to be better in 2026.
Good for Kool-Aid, 100%. But nobody is worried about what they did in the locker room, Kool-Aid. Same thing I told KG. I love it. You can say all the F-bombs you want. You can get naked. You can fight. You can throw a party, some nachos, do whatever you want to in the locker room. Just to run
That's
by
a drop,
hand.
by the way. That's
But
a
I
drop.
do-
You can get naked. You can do whatever you want in the locker room.
Yeah, but I do think it's different because earlier on we were wondering, is this real or is this fake from Ben Johnson? I think when it's an extension of who a real person is, I think it's different, and you're seeing the Bears resonate with who he is as a coach in that energy.
Is that? I was just going to ask you. Is that who he is? We never saw that in
That's
Detroit, but he
true.
wasn't the head coach.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's a little
How
different.
much of this? I hate to be this guy, but I can't help it sometimes. All right. Sometimes Sean Baligian rubs off on me.
Okay.
Let's go.
Is it because the cameras are rolling? That's what it's become in the National Football
know?
League.
No,
Whether we
'cause
like it or not, all the coaches know that the social media blast is about ready to take place right afterwards. So it's, hey, man, let me tell you something. And you could be as fired up as a guy like Ben Johnson, or you can be as drab as Sean McDermott that gets you nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if that who he really is.
Players would be able to figure that out, though, right, Bray?
I think it's him because
Okay.
we've seen some ugly losses by the Chicago Bears this year, and where he kept that energy. Obviously, he's not celebrating, but the conversation was still there. Like, he changed it. I think it's him. We live in an era now where that's the norm. The locker rooms, the cameras, everybody is always watching.
That is
it's
true.
always
It's
on
changing.
record. So I think that this is become a part of his authenticity. I don't think nobody is born. Well, few are born with this type of authenticity, just waking out the bed like, hey, let's get it going. Better go the rest, or whatever the hell he says. I think you learn it, and I think Dan did too. So I think this has now become his authenticity, but he knows how to spike it up a little bit for the camera.
Yeah.
Like Sean McVay.
Yeah.
If he was
you're right. So Sean
Spike
McVay
it
plays
up.
to it. You're right.
If he was inauthentic, I don't think the Bears would be where they're at right now.
Well, but so I thought the same thing, KG. I overall, I think you're right, but I thought the same thing. And Braylon told me, I don't know, middle of the year, week 4, week 5, he said, "Listen, man, when you first start with that stuff, players are like, come on, man." But then after you start winning, remember? And Braylon's like, "Okay, why not? I mean, it may be corny, but hey, let's do it. Ready?"
Right.
It's like when you used to do breakdowns in high school. All that kind of crap. Yeah,
true.
Yeah, that's how Harbaugh was.
Yeah.
Like, and I always use the Harbaugh example because I got to the 49ers. His training camp had already started, maybe like day 3, day 4, and you can see guys were like, "Man, who's got it better than us, man? What the hell is this dude talking about?" It's like, man, yeah, break. All right. And then you look up and you're 9-2, and guys are nobody, because it's real. It's like, hey, look, this is who he is. This works for us. Who am I? Who am I to say, man, this dude's corny? He's 9-2, and you about to get paid. So, shut up.
Didn't say it yesterday. Unfortunately for the Chargers, they're out. You want to do? So you just want to use that as Braylon's best? We can do that. We can do that. What about Braylon's busts? Those are the ones that didn't work out over the weekend. Do you have anybody in particular in mind? I'll give you mine. You ready? Have you heard of Cody Williams? You know who Cody Williams is? He plays for the Jazz. Okay, they got their blank beat up by Charlotte. Did you see the score on Saturday night? 150-95. Now, Cody Williams was a 10th overall pick. Yeah, 10th overall pick. Charlotte beat him. They scored 150 on him.
Yeah.
So he was the 10th overall pick, okay? He had 15 points, and I think he was 5 of 9 shooting, which isn't terrible, right? He was an NBA record minus 60 in the plus-minus. Let me repeat that. A minus 60.
Jeez.
You know what that tells you? It tells you that Utah, if he had not played, they were a minus 5 with him not on the floor.
That's insane.
That's insane, isn't it?
That's
so
insane.
that's when I read that on Sunday morning, I said, that's a good one for Braylon's bust.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I want to find somebody out of the Oregon game and throw them up here realistically.
How about Dan Lanning in general?
But this is what he does. This is what Dan Lanning does. He's one of those guys that is an amazing coach in the regular season. You get to the playoff. That's been Oregon's MO for a very long time. So it's not exclusive to Dan Lanning.
Yeah.
It's really exclusive to what Oregon is. But there's no way I watch that Philadelphia Eagles 49ers game and I don't choose a wide receiver by the name of A.J. Brown. 11 targets yesterday, 3 catches, and those 3 catches came in the first half. Like it wasn't good enough. And for a player that for the last 3 seasons has done nothing but talk about, and rightfully so a lot of that time. Like I don't make beans about him playing for the ball. Like he's one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
You see what he's done in the last year's playoffs, the year before that playoffs. You saw what he did in both Super Bowls. Like he comes to play. He didn't come to play yesterday, and it's been an ongoing theme all season, him speaking out, not getting the ball, pouting and doing it. You had an opportunity. If he would have went out there and made some plays, nobody cares about what you said during the year. We'd have been like, yeah, well, you know that one commercial where he's always talking about I'm always open? He's right. He is. Throw him the ball.
Right.
But instead, he dropped 2 passes, and then the third one, it might have been a touchdown if he catches because he could have walked out the back end of it. So A.J. Brown would be my chump.
To Braylon's point, Dan Lanning is 48-8 all time, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
But remember, this year, absolutely pounded by Indiana. Last year, beaten by what was it, 20?
Yeah.
To Ohio State.
Is he the new James Franklin of the Big Ten?
But he beat some of the big guys, though.
That's the only thing, though. Like he'll have some big wins too. 'Cause
Yeah.
Keep in mind, he beat Ohio State last year.
No, he did.
Yeah.
The first game they won. So
just not in the bowl, not in the Rose Bowl. I think
Right.
they
Not
won
when
the
it
Rose
matters.
Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Braylon's bust. How about your
it was
bust?
It was not the coach. It was that tricky play.
Yes.
Remember he
Yeah.
did that real obscure play to get the extra seconds or something.
I don't even know where or who to put the bust at the feet of, but Dennis Schroeder, Luka Doncic, and honestly the NBA too, because on the same weekend that you see like the little kids hockey league and they're throwing the mitts, I'm sitting here wondering, even though I'm gonna say it's Dennis Schroeder right now, because right now the rules say you're not fighting over stuff like this, bro. Leave it on the court. But I do wonder how much people would be talking if they had the hockey fight as well.
Yeah, that's a really good one. In case people missed it, Dennis Schroeder apparently after a game confronted Luka Doncic and said, "I'm going to kick your ass."
He supposedly told him in a game he should have signed the contract. That is so tough, dog.
Okay, here we go. Who you putting your money on? You taking Luka or Schroeder?
Ooh.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like neither one of them can fight. So I'm like, I don't know.
But the answer isn't none of the above. C. It's
I would
A or
probably go with Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I feel like
why? Because he played.
Not this. I mean,
that has nothing. That has absolutely nothing to do with it.
I've seen Luka play defense. I go with Schroeder too. I'm just making sure.
Stars can't fight. Like basketball players, stars can't fight.
Yeah.
Because from the time they're young to the time they die, they have people like watching out for them.
Hanging away.
No.
True.
You're not. I know my guys in the hood, man. Like going to King, like it was like you couldn't talk to him and could mess with him.
No, that's true.
100%.
We look
you
out.
grew up
Yeah.
like LeBron. You think LeBron's ever gotten into a fisticuffs?
Oh no.
I can promise you, if it were Jeff Rulin, I would say Jeff Rulin. But it's Luka Doncic. I think that stands on its own. You got one, KG? You got a bust?
Yeah, but
bust from the weekend?
Bray took my original one, but I got 2. First one being Trevor Lawrence. And look, man, it was all well and good until the final drive of the game. You have a chance to kind of write your own history, and he has a pick immediately. Now you don't even get a chance to see a drive.
Is that on him?
No, but
he threw it late.
He did throw it late.
He definitely threw it late.
But either way, he gets the credit for it. It's an interception. It got batted. I understand, but it's a pick either way.
Okay.
My second one is for tonight. Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there and get destroyed by the Houston Texans. I am here to tell everyone that. I have gotten every pick right this weekend except for the Jags.
You got every pick right?
Except for the Jags.
You picked Chicago, huh?
Yes, I did.
That's why you mad at Trevor Lawrence. He messed up a parlay.
He messed me up.
And you picked Frisco, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good for you.
So, but no, I think Aaron Rodgers, this Houston Texans defense is going to do something crazy to them tonight.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
I got an inkling. I got an inkling. The old man got one more.
Nah, come on,
I thought you were going to say conspiracy theory from the NFL.
I have an inkling that Aaron Rodgers has one more trick up his sleeve.
Now you know Mike Tomlin ain't won a playoff game since 2017.
Oh, he's fully aware.
Yeah, a lot of riding on this game tonight.
He's fully aware.
A lot of riding on it.
I got an inkling.
Okay,
Aaron
that'll
Rodgers
be
gonna be the
interesting.
reason he
We'll
get
get that inkling when we come back. Plus, we want to, a little tip of the cat to a guy who's it's overdue, but at least it's happening, and that's with Sergei Fedorov.
Why it took so long.
Yeah, and maybe what's next after this from BlackRock and Lady Jane's.
Hopefully he can get in that front office and help us out even more. They launched a whole new menu, returning favorites in the newest ways to sizzle. That's right, I'm talking about BlackRock Bar and Grill. Still a sizzle above the rest. Prime sirloins, don't worry, they're here to stay. Not just a meal, they are a top rock experience. All you can eat platters, still $20, and then don't ever forget 20% off the total food bill. All you gotta do is mention Woodward Sports. You gotta find BlackRock, and guess what? They're not too hard to find. They're all around.
28 stores throughout the state of Michigan. That is Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. That is easy to find. We're the one here in Birmingham. There's another one right down the street on Woodward in Royal Oak on Woodward Avenue. It's perfect, just like this one, clean, crisp. You walk in, you get taken care of. That's their motto. They understand how important your time is. So you walk in, you sign up, and the next thing you know, you're out the door with a good-looking haircut. It's Lady Jane's, open 10 till 8, 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new faith, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Like a frostbite straight from the divine. Cold rush on my skin feels so fine. Muscle freeze, the ache. No side effects, no mistake. Chill Sub-Zero. Icy and true. Feel the chill. It's all for you. It's not magic, just science play. Chill Sub-Zero.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball. The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome back in.
We
Probably
back.
last segment of the day. Last night, something took place as it relates to the Red Wings, and it was just private, and it was about the players coming back for one of the greats, and that's great Sergei Fedorov. That's right, number 91 tonight will get his jersey retired and raise him in the rafters. Went into the NHL Hall of Fame in 2015, however, not going to the Red Wings Ring of Honor or raising the jersey until tonight. One of the best players the Red Wings have ever had. I remember this was the beginning of my fandom for the Detroit Red Wings. It happened with Sergei Fedorov. I'm an Yzerman guy, but at that time, it was all about Sergei Fedorov. I mean, one of the best players, really not even just a versatile. He's like 3 players in one. Like one of the fastest skaters of all time, man. What he can do on skates, not many could do. And I say not many, it's a handful of lists. And also, he's like a rock star. Like for me, he was the first. Well, Gordie Howe, I'd be disrespectful.
Shout out Anna Quote Unquote.
But he was the first new wave rock star player. Like, and he was our guy. Nike commercials. He was dating Oksana Bayul, who was a gold medalist for Russia. Everything about him was just super cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was dope, man. So he's one of my favorite players. I'm glad that finally they raised 91 to the rafters.
And I remember when Anna Kournikova was in the building, and people just literally, I mean, they stopped.
Yeah.
I remember those times.
I said Oksana Bayou.
That's
It was
cool.
Anna Kournikova.
That's okay.
He
Yeah,
did both of them, actually.
I'm not sure about Oksana Bayou, but
He definitely did Oksana Bayou.
Okay, I know for sure it was Anna Kournikova because she was at Joe Louis and people were
Tennis
just like,
player.
oh boy.
I remember those.
We got to stop for a moment. His season.
Tennis players with quotes.
Yeah, absolutely. His season in the 93-94 when he had 120 points, led the league in even strength goals, 38, I think, where he was the Hart Trophy winner.
And
but
Selke.
But he also won the Selke, and that's the thing. Like, he's a 2-time Selke Award winner. That's the best defensive forward in hockey. That dude could skate faster backwards than most guys skate forwards. The question a lot of people have, and maybe it's water under the bridge, but what difference does it make? He retired 16 years ago. Why did it take so long? Well, I think it took so long because I think everybody believes this, and I think it's right, is the fact that, he left. Mm-hmm. And he calls it his biggest regret, which I think is great. But he left, and there's something to being here. And really, before he left, there was also the contract, the check that, supposedly with the Carolina Hurricanes, who's ironically coming into the building tonight, right? So the question a lot of people will have now is, who's next? So who will it be? Zetterberg and Datsuk are Hall of Famers. Yeah. So you would think theirs would raise to the rafters, and they spent their entire careers in Detroit. Yeah. But our teammate, Darren McCarty, was on my morning show this morning. He had a really good point. You know what he said? He said, let's wait and table that. The next order of business is to get Chris Osgood into the Hall of Fame. He's got 400 wins. He's got 3 Stanley Cups. How is he not in hockey's Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
So
one thing that I would hope, and it's never going to change. It won't. And this is an example of it, and it's going to stay the same, status quo. Like, stop judging what 25, 28, 30-year-olds do. Guys are kids.
Yeah.
Like, guys, like individuals are young. You're figuring it out. Like, you're mad at a decision that Sergei Fedorov made when he was 28 and probably listened to one of his girlfriends. Like, you should leave. You should get out of Detroit. You already won a Stanley Cup. Detroit. Right. Like, let it go. Like, let that stuff go. Like, guys are young. I made a lot of dumb decisions when I was in Cleveland because I was 22. I was 23. I was 24. And, like, people still hold grudges. Oh, I'm legitimately almost double the age that I was when I got drafted, and people are still talking about, man, I heard when you were in the game to the Baltimore Ravens, you were talking to this, that, and the third. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to get my finances in order. So, yeah, I was talking to Daly's Thomas about finances. My bad. We were also down by 30 points. Did it matter? Did it matter that I was having a conversation about finances? So sometimes you got to let that go because players are young.
Yeah.
Players get older and come into their own. So,
I think it's a great point. I always try to put myself in that person's situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I mean, there before, the people who complain about that stuff are the same ones who are probably talking to their buddies, even though they've got a job, and saying, hey, by the way, if something opens up over there, will you keep me in mind?
Big fact.
Right? I mean, that's what happens. And then if an athlete does, it's like, hey, hold on a second.
Right.
I just bought your jersey, you son of a gun. I wear that hat every day, Kool-Aid. I've got a jacket that somebody just gave me for Christmas. So I think you got to be a little careful there. All right, let's get to some of the super chats and anything for
No, 1996, day after Christmas.
You got that jersy?
No. Well, I did when I was younger, but day after Christmas, 1996, that 5 goal games. That's when I was like, yeah, I'm a 91 guy. Then when he left, I said, I'm going to turn those numbers the opposite way. Go Stevie Y. 5 goals in hockey, I was sold.
Hey, listen, when Steve Yzerman or other players at that level, like you and I have talked about this before, when you recognize how good a receiver is, you're like, okay, that means a little bit more to me than maybe what somebody else might say. When another Hall of Fame player like Steve Yzerman said he's the best player I've ever played with,
there you go.
Then you go, okay,
yeah.
What's the point of me having a debate with you?
Yeah.
What am I going to say? Oh, listen, My eyes tell me, okay, take it easy.
Right,
Yeah.
relax.
All right, Simon says. Go ahead there, Kool-Aid.
Hey, definitely. We have 5 super chats here. And Freddie Felt, man. Shout out to our
Shout
guy.
out, my dog.
He sent in a couple
We
of
got to
them
get you
here.
back in the studio soon, brother.
Yeah.
Definitely has to, man.
Oh, wait, he's
$1.99 super
KG's
chat.
dog now. I didn't know that.
Oh,
I thought
me
he
and
was,
we've been rocking
I thought,
for a long
I thought he
time.
was our dog,
Before
too.
he was on this show, he was messing with the woo now.
Yeah,
You better
shout
don't
out
mess
Woo Crew.
around.
KG, he's got us in that regard.
Yeah. Freddie Felt
Don't be
through
a
the
hater,
3,
bro.
man. Yeah. You know what? He was proverbially in the gym when we were shooting, like doing practice time. So when we were setting up way back when, Hamlin Pub, our first season doing like the Lions watch parties, he actually would show up from Indiana and help us set up.
Yeah.
Don't even know
That's
why,
a
but he
Drake
believed in
reference.
us. So shout out to Freddie.
Thank
He
you
unofficially works
Thanks
here,
for the
so.
clarification.
Yeah,
He's unofficial Woodward.
Yeah, I would say he's a family member. I would agree with that.
And you know what he says about us? He says Shep, Kool-Aid, KG, and the GOAT, that's you, Bray, are great. And he got that in all caps. His second super
I
chat.
thought for sure he was going to say fire.
It was when we were talking about when you were making sure people knew the difference between great and good.
Yeah.
Right.
And pretty good and
There is a delineation. Okay, I don't think I'm being a snob there. There is a big difference.
Well, it
Nobody
depends
else
on
can
what
see
you're
that.
talking about.
Good and great.
I don't think you'd be at a snob either, but it depends on the subject matter. In terms of good, great, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Swaggle getting bigger?
Yeah.
You're right. You got to pick your battles, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all.
Fair enough.
That's all.
And this one here, hopefully I do this some justice for you. Freddie fell through on 349 super chat. He played Joe the Policeman on the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama. Put your hands together for Jackson Heights on Mr. Randy Watson.
All in unison for you guys. That's fantastic.
Quick thought. We talked about how the landscape of college football is changing. We talked about what Kurt Cinetti is doing in Indiana. Talk about what potentially Matt Campbell could do at Penn State. I don't look any further than up the road and what they're doing and how they're making it happen. A lot of people coming from Utah.
Yeah, they just got the number 1 tight end in the portal.
J.J. Buchanan, shout out.
And then they got both the DNs. You got J.J. Buchanan. You got a wide receiver that's coming in from Texas. But they're taking a lot of people from that Utah.
Does that surprise you that he's been able to do that?
No, well,
Not the Utah guys.
Yeah, not the Utah guys.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit on the other side. I think I'm impressed with the flips. I think I'm impressed with the flips that have entered the portal from Michigan and then decided after having a conversation, you know what? I think I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna come back to Michigan and see what that
Minus
is.
Justice Haynes.
Right.
Justice Haynes, I'm not mad at it. I get it because
Yeah.
the Hyder situation.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
then when your coach
and Marshall.
is so high on a player, like Alfred, like coming back was kind of predicated on the Hyder situation. And if
Gotcha.
I'm Justice Haynes, I see that. I know what it is.
Writing on the wall for sure.
But 100%. But then the other players that they're starting to get, I'm like, all right, I know it's early, and I'm not going to jump early. I've told you, patience will be my 2026. But I can't look and say trending in the right direction. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because the next one was going to be that from Jay, who asked in the chat.
Trying to be positive.
Yeah,
Right.
He asked Jay. He was like, "Bray should be fired up about what is doing in the transfer portal because he believes that Whittingham is rolling." So you were kind of right on target with those comments.
And
So far, so good.
The good thing about it is, like, Michigan, like the Big Ten still stinks. Like the Big Ten is a stink.
How does it stink?
With the exception of like 3 teams, like you realize there are 19 teams in the Big Ten.
I do.
Yeah.
There are 3 good teams in the Big Ten right now. You have Ohio State, you have Oregon, and you have Indiana. Everybody else is trying to figure out what that is. The fact that you won 9 games last year with that team, with that coach, and that staff, sorry about that, that at least lets me know they're going to be much better than they were last year, and they're still in this Big Ten conference. Yes, they play Oklahoma. Yes, they play Indiana, and then Ohio State. That's the 3 they play. I'm just saying, it's not like this is this. And it's
No,
SEC.
I don't disagree with you, but if the Big Ten stinks, your word, what are all the other conferences? Because you could argue that
is higher than what the Big Ten's upside is. Like SEC's 6th best team will mop Big Ten's 6th best team.
Who would be? So let's see. You said
Ole Miss probably. I mean,
well, I don't know.
You got Texas, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama, Vanderbilt this year.
Vanderbilt just lost to Iowa, though. Let's keep that in mind. So if you're looking at Big Ten, you're thinking of India.
I'm also not counting bowl games that aren't the playoffs.
Yeah, true.
Oh, okay.
Like bowl games that aren't the playoffs don't count. Like because how many players don't play in those bowl games? It doesn't matter. It's not the same game.
Well, if both teams are losing players and Iowa's beat, just in this case, Iowa's beating you with backups. I know one dude who did play, the mouth from Vanderbilt.
Right.
Okay. But if you're looking at Indiana and you're looking at Ohio State and you're looking at Oregon, then let's see 6. USC, Michigan, Iowa. Washington, Illinois would be probably 8. Nebraska probably not.
That's your group right there. But it's top heavy. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just top heavy.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Outside the SEC, I would argue just about everybody's top heavy.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and even the SEC is top heavy too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it hasn't accounted for anything in 3 years now. So
they went 2-6 in bowl games, but we're not counting bowl games.
College football isn't as good as maybe it used to be then, and as it relates to that, where the Big Ten is right now, I see someone like Kyle Whittingham being able to come in and do a much better job than Sharon Moore, and it'd be a little bit easier for him. So maybe that's where I'm at with it.
He won't have any OnlyFans girls on the sideline, so we'll be okay.
Maybe
good stuff.
Coming from Utah, Howard.
We did not get to
some of those Mormon TV shows.
Yeah,
man.
dog, true.
The Mormon women out here these days.
But they're all wives. They're not just random floozies.
Yeah, but
so.
they're not supposed to drink and they drink on those shows.
Random floozies.
But they're not supposed to drink and they drink on those shows. They fornicate.
No, that is true.
Oh, listen.
I know people that watch them shows.
My wife watches them. My wife watches them.
Listen, I would just say this. I dated a Mormon girl one time.
Really?
That's a joke. Okay, when that big belief. Oh, this is what they don't do. Okay. Whatever.
Oh, you had it turned out.
Right.
I'm not suggesting that. That is not what I just think it.
We'll just let Shep share his experience.
I think it's.
Did she bring her friends?
I think it's very misleading as we say goodbye today. It's very misleading.
He might be telling the truth
on what the belief is and what we buy into. Just like it is with just about a lot of religions.
I might know what you're talking about, though, bro.
Hey, remember, Catholics aren't supposed to do that stuff either.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and
the church girls, man.
Yeah, exactly. See, you nod your head and you're like, oh, well, it's true.
They got some other stuff.
Yeah, there's all kinds of problems. Believe me, it's my religion. We're back with you tomorrow. We hope you make the Braylon Edwards show part of your religion. We're back with you tomorrow at 2 o'clock here on Woodward Sports.
Let's go.
Looking for your daily sports fix? Look no further. Join Braylon Edwards, the University of Michigan legend.
Lofting it right corner of the end zone for Braylon, up in the air. Touchdown, Michigan!
And Shep.
Do you believe this comeback?
Your favorite sports commentator as they tackle the hottest topics in the world of sports. Catch the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep. Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network. Get ready to laugh, learn, and love sports like never before.